Lucy C. Laney High School. Its history is Augusta history.
Oh, it is so unique because this served as the catalyst for Black Augustans back during Jim Crow and the segregation period. Ms. Lucy Craft Laney is the catalyst behind all this because she started Haynes Norman Industrial Institute back in around about 1886.
More than a half century later, that school would help form Laney High School. Her final resting place is in front of the school, and across the street sits the stadium that bears her name, home to the team that wears it.
Lucy Craft Laney High School has always been known as the pride of the neighborhood, or either the pride of the community.
The pride of Laney is way, way deeper and more important than just football, but this is our part in it.
A Richmond County rivalry renewed. Laney, Hephzibah.
Laney's a really good program. You know, they've established a really good culture down there. But for us, it's really about us.
You know, one thing about being here at Laney High School, you find out that you have a lot of rivalries, and this is one of the rivalry games, and a lot of people in the community want to see these two teams go at it.
Lucy Laney football celebrates season number 75 tonight on Game Night Live.
Welcome to Game Night Live. WJBF Sports presents local high school football live in your living room each Friday night. Game Night Live is powered by McDonald's. I'm loving it. And now, your hosts, John Hart and Ashley Brown.
Well, better late than never, right? We were supposed to be with you at 7:30 tonight, but due to the extreme heat in the CSRA, a 30-minute delay to get this game underway, but we are ready for football despite a feels-like temperature still hovering around 100 degrees. John Hart, joined as always by Ashley Brown, our statistician Nathan Edwards, and AB. Not only do we have one of Richmond County's greatest rivalries, Hephzibah and Laney, one of your favorite players. We're going to get to see one of the big talents in this area tonight in Telly Johnson.
No doubt about it. Probably my favorite player to watch last year. He does it on both sides of the ball. He really doesn't come out of the game. He kicks, he plays linebacker, and last year he came into his own as a running back, rushing for over 1,200 yards and 23 touchdowns in just 11 games. An outstanding player. You look at the big body, the speed. That is why colleges are starting to take notice. As a matter of fact, today, his first Division I offer from Toledo out of the MAC Conference. I'm telling you, he's the real deal. In week 1, you see the stats, 226 yards and 4 touchdowns, and that was just on 9 carries, John.
And Toledo will certainly not be his last Division I offer. Hephzibah comes in 1-0, Laney 0-1, down to the field for the coin toss.
Hands. Shake hands. What's up, man? Mr. Billman? Mr. Billman? Mr. Billman? Mr. Billman? Hey, Mr. Williams, umpire for the night. I'm the head referee. Guys, couple things. You guys are chosen captains for a reason. Let's control your teams. If we come to you for a problem, fix it, all right? Don't let us fix it. You know what that means then, all right? We understand each other. Respect goes both ways. It goes down and up, all right? But if I tell y'all to do something, make sure y'all do it, all right? Let's play hard. Hey, we're going to let you play tonight. Let them know, all right? Hey, we're going to give you water breaks too, so just be prepared, all right? We're driving, and I stop you. We just had to stop because of the heat, all right? Hephzibah, you're the visiting team. Laney, you're the home team. I got a coin here. I got a 5 as the heads, and the badges are a tail. A 5 is the heads, the badges are tails. What do you call? Tell him, big man. It's tails. What do you want to do? You want to defer? You want the ball then, right? Which way you want to kick? You want to kick that way. Put your backs over here. Put your backs over there. Laney want to toss. They like to defer. Hephzibah, they want the rock. Guys, bring them out. Let's go. Let's bang them up.
Laney wins the toss. The Wildcats defer. The Rebels will be on offense and receive the opening kick. And our look at pick number 45, Telly Johnson, when Game Night Live returns. And as the Wildcats get set to get us underway, and the Rebels will take over at the 31. Our forward keys to the game, maybe.
Well, I think for if we're looking at the home squad, Laney first, I think you can't let Telly Johnson beat you. You've got to force somebody else to do it. And they did a great job stopping the run against Strom last week. Strom was able to throw. I don't know if Hephzibah can throw as well. And then get their playmakers involved early, especially Carl Holmes. And then for Hephzibah, I think you got to eliminate the big play for Laney. The longer you can hang around with them, Laney didn't play well in the first half last week, so eliminate that big play. And then they've got to be balanced on offense because there is going to be a key on Telly Johnson. They're going to have to hit some passes with their young quarterback.
Yeah, legal procedure on the kickoff. We get to redo it.
Yeah, so the officials cooperating because we have another sponsor to get in here. Our coaches matchup.
That's right. We'll start with Ronnie Baker from Laney in his third season. He took over in 2021. 14-9 so far, 8-3 last year, and a playoff berth. He is a former assistant on the college level at Allen University. And then Daniel Dorsey, really bright young head coach. Very impressed with him. He's in his fourth season, trying to build something special here. 15-15 during his tenure. Also took them to the playoffs last year. He's a graduate locally of Westside High School.
So a 30-minute delay wasn't enough. Why don't we kick it off twice? And the Rebels will have great field position this time up to the 44-yard line.
Yeah, picked up about 13 extra yards with the kick having to, be done again. So good for the Rebels start at least.
26th meeting all time between these two teams. Laney leads 17-7-1, including a 26-17 victory a year ago. These teams first met back in 1976, but Hephzibah did not win in this series until 1992. So since then, it's been a pretty even matchup between these two Richmond County rivals.
Well, Laney had some great teams in the 60s and early 70s, so I can understand victory's hard to come by. And, last year Laney had a great team. Remember, they only lost by 1 point to eventual state champion Thompson.
Rebels a winner 35-14 over Westside last week. And it was in large part due to Telly Johnson on first down here. The carry goes to...
It was Jamar Gant, the quarterback, who kept it.
J.J. Gant, yeah.
Yeah. Well, J.J. Gant is a kid the coach is really high on. He came in last week, and they said he played with a lot of confidence, really has a good feel for the offense. We thought losing Jalen Patrick would be a big blow, but they said this young man making his first varsity start last week stepped in and did a great job.
As the Wildcats appear to have jumped off sides, listening to Coach Daniel Dorsey from Hephzibah on your radio show last night.
On the first down.
He mentioned that's going to be enough to get the Rebels a first down. He mentioned the fact that Gant took the JV team to a championship game and won a championship game. So he has a history of winning before he even sets foot on the field here as a varsity starting quarterback for the Rebels.
And he also says he's got a little better arm than Jalen Patrick.
Which I was surprised by.
Yeah, who threw for 1,600 yards
We're about to see it here.
Just tackled the receiver.
Yeah.
And another flag.
Well, he chunked it down there. That ball landed at about the 10-yard line. So
It's not a bad penalty if you know you're beat and going to give up a touchdown.
we got to see that arm strength, though. He slung it downfield. That ball, like I said, it fell just shy of the 10-yard line.
Another free set of downs for the Rebels, and while they move the chains, we'll check in with Kira Goldstein. Kira, you and I had a great chat with Coach Ronnie Baker from Laney yesterday.
Yeah, I got to talk to him a lot about the tradition here, and he mentioned that he tries to bring in alumni every week to talk to the guys. He did say that while he is very respectful of the Laney tradition, that he's not a Laney grad, he's not even from this area, so it's really important to him that he bring in people who understand the culture of Laney and really try to keep that going. He does really want to grow the brand, and he's very respectful of what they're trying to build here at Laney. Guys, back up to you.
Kira, thanks. And as if on cue, guess who, AB?
Yeah, big run by Telly Johnson. Danny Daggett, we're going to call his name a lot for Laney, came up and made a big hit. But, boy, Telly Johnson, he has the size, he's got the speed. This young man is a heck of a football player.
Rebels in the red zone. Gant will keep it and pick up 5.
Ran behind Telly Johnson that time. Last week, everybody, that Laney-Strom-Thurmond game was one everybody circled and thought it was going to be a dogfight, and everybody was stunned when they heard Strom-Thurmond jumped out 21-0. Laney packed it in and stopped their running game and made them throw it, but unfortunately for them, their back, Strom-Thurmond's sophomore quarterback, threw 3 TD passes, had a really good game. But if you look at the defensive stats, Laney looked like they played a really good football game. They got back in it late, ended up losing the game 21-12.
Boy, Laney just killing itself early with penalties.
Already 4th penalty on Laney.
And you see the field, the new field turf here at Laney, absolutely beautiful stadium. It was already a beautiful facility, but they've added the turf this year.
And Coach Ronnie Baker telling Kira and I yesterday, these kids are so excited to play their first game on this turf, but Cats with their back against their own goalpost here and stiffen their necks and bring Johnson down at the 9-yard line on 1st and goal.
Well, folks, Dr. Arana Jain is located on Highway 88 in downtown Hephzibah and is a proud supporter of the Rebels. Dr. Jain's friendly staff is expertly trained and dedicated to the care and comfort of their patients. Their offices are a full-service medical center which covers every aspect of medical care for your entire family. They specialize in weight loss and offer a large variety of cosmetic treatments to suit your individual needs and budget. Visit their website at Dr. Jain, that's Jain, MD.com, drjanemd.com for more details. Dr. Arana Jain, Highway 88 in Hephzibah.
So that was a play that Hephzibah ran to success last week when Telly Johnson had 4 rushing touchdowns. The direct snap, this time it goes for a yard. A big 3rd down for the Laney defense here, 3rd and 5.
Same formation.
Johnson, this time, did he get in?
No.
I don't think
At
the
the
ball got in.
one.
Yeah, I don't think the ball got in. He got in briefly, but they spun him around where the ball never crossed the goal. Watch this at the end of the play. It looked like he was going to get in, but a really nice couple of hits there.
Taquavius Kemp came up out of the backfield to hit him.
And at the last minute, Carl Holmes came up and hit him as well, and that kept him out of the end zone. That looked like it was going to be a TD.
It's got to be.
Well, Daniel Dorsey leaving the offense on the field for now, but will then call timeout and talk about it. We will take one with them with 8:45 left in quarter number 1. Fourth and goal, Hephzibah from the Laney 1-yard line.
Yeah, huge play here for the Laney defense. They fell behind last week and struggled. Let's see who they run behind. Nathan's pointing out some of the big offensive linemen. Well, the best one up there is usually number 56, Chance Bush. He's not in the game at the moment, though.
I'd bet anything. You know what? I'm going to say it's 6.
Yep.
I was going to say I'll bet anything they score on this play. I didn't want to jinx it for them, but yes, Telly Johnson in for the score, and Hephzibah on a 4th down conversion takes a 6-0 lead.
That's 28 touchdowns for Telly Johnson in 12 games and less than a quarter, counting last year. He had 23 last year in 11 games. He had 4 last week on 9 carries, and he's in on the first possession for Hephzibah tonight.
And if my math is correct, Nathan can correct me if it's not, that would be 5 touchdowns on 15 carries this year. That's a pretty good ratio.
Yeah, every third time you touch it, not bad.
Well, he averaged more than 25 yards a carry last week. Now, that was thrown off a little bit because he had a 99-yarder, but still. And the extra point is up and in off foot of Justice Whitfield. And Hephzibah strikes first. Rebels 7, Laney nothing. 8:40 to play in the first. It's the 70th season of Hephzibah football. Both of these teams actually celebrating an anniversary this year. We mentioned Laney in the beginning of the broadcast celebrating its 75th season. In fact, the Wildcats picked up the 400th pro win in program history last November in the final game of the season against Glen Hills.
Well, right now at McDonald's, get any size of your favorite frozen drink like a new Hawaiian frozen punch or any size McCafe iced coffee for only $1.89. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
So 8 plays, 56 yards, took 3:20 off the clock for Hephzibah.
Yeah, they made it look easy, John.
And they got a lot of help from the Laney penalties, but they didn't really need it the way Telly Johnson was running the football. And now the Wildcats will have good field position starting from the 32-yard line.
Well, if you talk about Telly Johnson when Hephzibah's got the ball, you got to talk about C.J. Holmes when Laney has it. He can play receiver. He can play running back. He was the athlete of the year in the region last year. He is big time, electrifying player. Wearing number 2 in red tonight.
Yeah, Coach Baker telling Kira and me yesterday that this team goes as he goes. So it'll be fun to watch number 2 for the rest of the night.
And he's been putting up big numbers for quite some time as a sophomore. I remember one of the games I watched a full video of. He had 246 yards, and it was just like every time he touched the ball, a big play.
He works out of the shotgun, and he'll keep on first down. And he'll have 5 or 6.
Good snap and run by the Wildcats.
And making the play for Hephzibah that time defensively was number 25, Devontae Dowdell.
And again, it's Holmes. Stiff arm, another stiff arm, and dragged out at the 37.
Well, amazing block at the beginning of that play. It happened so fast, I didn't get it over. Watch this, John. One of the defenders comes flying through. It wasn't a block more than he just ran into him, but, man, what a play there.
James Pride.
He saved his ball carrier from getting demolished on that play.
And enough for a first down, 1st and 10 Wildcats at the 37.
Now let's see if you can use that aggression against them and go back around on a play. Now they're going to run the same play basically.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Another 7.
Well, some coaches just, if they've got an athlete like these two teams have with Telly and Holmes, they're just going to direct snap it to them, get the ball in their hands, and let them try to make a play. You will see Daggett at quarterback too, and I think that's the case here.
3 plays from scrimmage, 3 runs by Holmes. And Laney up to the 43-yard line. Here he goes again. Another first down near midfield. And that was not Holmes,
that was
actually.
Daggett
That was Danny Daggett.
Yeah.
So finally somebody else gets a carry. And equally successful, it'll be another first down.
Yeah, first downs all year brought to you by Lifelink of Georgia.
He'll put it right at midfield.
Boy, Telly Johnson came on a blitz, and he came flying through.
Thought he had it timed perfectly.
Yeah.
Looks like we got a penalty on the field.
Well, Marks Clearing and Grading has been serving the CSRA since 1974. Today, Marks Clearing and Grading has a fleet of roll-off trucks, dump trucks, and an arsenal of heavy equipment to tackle any land clearing, mulching, or grading project you have. Marks Clearing and Grading clears land for a wide variety of uses, including residential home building, new construction jobs, businesses, schools, churches, and more. On the demolition side, Marks Demolition and Environmental Group. They provide commercial, industrial, and residential demolition services. They're also licensed in the state of Georgia and South Carolina to provide asbestos abatement. They handle the administrative details so you don't have to. For top-notch service, call Marks Clearing and Grading today.
It's a pretty impressive drive so far by Laney. It's going to be negated a little bit by a flag.
Well, they had a bad penalty on defense, too, and that's something you got to watch in this, especially early in the season. Those teams that are penalized seem to struggle a little bit more. You got to be really good to overcome a bunch of penalties, and we've seen it in our first 2 games this year, especially that first game. Willis and Elko really hurt themselves with a bunch of penalties.
1st and 15, our yardage distance is not working. It's tied into the scoreboard, which is not showing the yardage as well. So we'll try to keep you up to date on the down and distance as best we can.
Another false start, penalty number 6 already in the first quarter for Laney.
Going to make it 1st and 20. So since I said impressive drive by Laney, they backed themselves up 10 yards.
And again, it's just penalties. It really hasn't been the defense that has been able to stop them. But those penalties will eat you up.
Holmes got a hole. Holmes has a first down. Holmes in a foot race into the red zone down at the 18-yard line.
Yeah, but it's nice when you have somebody like that that can make up for those penalties.
It makes up for a lot of problems.
Wow.
Lamar Daniels,
you saw
the man who chased him down and saved a touchdown.
He started sort of slow in the backfield, kind of waiting, looking for his spot. And, boy, when he found it, he took off, and a touchdown-saving tackle made by number 19, Lamar Daniels.
Very close to a horse collar there at the end of that play.
19-yard run, 1st and 10 at the 20.
This time Hephzibah gets a stop.
Logan Hayward, who had 12 tackles last week. He was the Rebels' leading tackler of week 1.
Yeah, got some help from Justin Allen at the end of the play. So, but Holmes is sort of the Le'Veon Bell style of kind of start slow and kind of
look you were
going to
say that. I knew you were going to say that.
I had to throw it in there. He's a former Steeler.
So media timeout. I think this is it's 100 degrees, and let's let them catch their breath timeout. It's going to be 2nd and 8 with 5:35 left to play in quarter number 1.
Yeah, during the coin toss, he let both teams know he would be giving them some water breaks, so not to worry.
Every Friday night at 11:30 p.m. on WJBF News Channel 6. Wildcats, we're looking good tonight. What do y'all feel about that Wildcat football?
While they take this timeout, let's, well, never mind. They're going to come back onto the field, so we'll save that.
That's kind of tough, though, for an offensive team where you've got a drive going. You're wearing down the defense, and then they get 2 minutes to take a break.
Well, they didn't help themselves with the 2 penalties. It also gave the defense a bit of a break, but they made up for it with the Holmes run.
And Daggett back in there taking the direct snap now. The running back in the game is number 25. That is Demarion Johnson.
And it will be Daggett dancing inside the 10. Hit hard at the 7-yard line.
Yeah, took a big shot at the end of that play.
Treyon Brown, a senior linebacker. But it will be enough for a first down, 1st and goal at the 9-yard line.
Yeah, good cut, and he made a good cut back there to make the linebacker miss, but yeah, Brown came over with a big hit there.
Needed 9, got 10, 1st and goal at the 9. Working quickly, Holmes, wide open, touchdown Laney.
Well, neither defense was able to stop the ground game at all on both teams' first drive, so Laney marched right down the field. They had to back up several times due to penalty and still able to easily move down the field and get the touchdown. So the 2 superstars have each scored already. They're going for 2. They're not kicking it, so.
Holmes and Johnson again in the backfield and hold everything.
Guess what? That looks like it's a penalty on the Rebels.
By the way, if you can't hear, they put in a new PA system here at Lucy Laney Stadium this week. They were testing that out as we were here for our visit with the coach yesterday.
That was a 9-play, 73-yard drive that took 3:34 off the clock.
These will not tie it up.
These are huge because of them not kicking. And
Holmes, and the conversion is good.
Yeah, got in fairly easily there. So Laney jumps out on top, 8-7. Yeah, they had Chance Bush pulling the all-region lineman.
And Devontae Dowdle was in there and had a look at him, but Holmes cut to the inside and off he went. So 8-7, Laney entertaining first 7 minutes of this first quarter. Before we get to the kickoff, let's take a look at what's coming up on The Dish next week.
That's right, The Dish. Tune in for the 411 on all things local. Food, facts, fun, they've got it all. Friday at 12:30 with Anna Christina on WJBF News Channel 6. It's The Dish.
So 8-7, sort of a baseball score early here. We also feature 2 of the best marching bands in the city of Augusta here tonight. The Big Red Marching Machine of Hephzibah, the Pride of Augusta, Laney Marching Band. They'll take the field at halftime. And the Rebels will set up shop at 37.
Antonio Heath on the return. And so for the second possession, Hephzibah with pretty good field position.
The Hephzibah team that, you know, in your keys to the game, AB, you mentioned that they need to have a balance. They were pretty much 3-1 run to pass last week. Of course, they really didn't have to throw it a lot with a sizable victory over Westside.
Yeah.
But it'll be interesting to see, and we have seen them throw a couple of times already.
Well, I was looking at the numbers from last week, and Laney held Strom Thurmond to, I think, 19 yards on 12 carries or something like that. So I figured they would do the same thing this week, but Hephzibah was able to run it on that first possession.
And on first down, another run up to the 41, gain of 4.
Yeah, nice carry. And on the carry that time, it was Jalen Alford. Giving Telly a little bit of a break. Again, Telly Johnson is in there on almost every play, offense, defense, and some special teams as well. They're resting him a little bit on some of the special teams. He doesn't kick as much.
And on the keeper, it's Gant and JJ with a first down up near midfield.
Yeah, the key to that was the fake. He made an excellent fake. Everybody followed Heath, and Gant was able to get to the outside on a nice pickup.
Pickup of 9. First and 10 at the 50. And again, Gant replacing one of the best players Hephzibah's had in recent memory in Jalen Patrick, who counted for more than 2,000 total yards last year, now playing at Presbyterian College. But
yeah, heck of a talent, could run it, could throw it, real leader. And but they say they're very happy with Gant's grasp on this offense and what this team's trying to do.
And Gant rhymes with Grant, who's another star player Hephzibah's trying to replace this year, in Eric Grant, the wide receiver, who had one of the best plays in Game Night Live history that made it all the way to ESPN's NFL Countdown show.
Yeah, somebody got lost. It wasn't me. Yeah, Eric Grant, just a tremendous big play receiver. But, you know, that's Coach Dorsey was saying. We've got some receivers, and we've got some guys with some real size at receiver, 6'2", 6'3". So they're excited what these guys can do when they're called upon.
Johnson. And, I mean, he is just a load to bring down.
I was so happy to see his tweet today about the Toledo offer, because I had looked a couple of weeks ago thinking there's no way this guy's not on the recruiting boards, but he was not really on any. And that doesn't mean anything. It just means, you know, that doesn't mean schools aren't looking at him. And then today I see that Toledo made an offer, and all that means to me is as they watch him play, more D1 schools are going to come.
What it means to me is somebody at Toledo was watching football Friday night last week.
Well, we know in the recruiting game now, a lot of it is if you don't go to these camps, you're not seen as quickly.
And you're not on some of the 247 or some of the different sites.
The aforementioned Johnson stopped at the line of scrimmage this time.
Yeah, better job that time by Laney up front, getting a real good surge, not letting him get comfortable and get a head start there.
DeMontez Harris, the first man in for the Wildcats, just a sophomore.
So it's 4th and short here.
So 4th and, about 2 from the Laney 42-yard line. And in one call, Ken Nugent, one call, that's all moment for Daniel Dorsey.
I kind of like going for it in this spot, especially when you got that guy, Telly Johnson, who's lined up for a direct snap.
Well, Ronnie Baker didn't like it, and the Wildcats are going to call timeout. But it's still going to be a Ken Nugent one call, that's all moment either way. Well, we mentioned at the outset the name on this high school, the name on this stadium, Lucy Craft Laney. And a lot of us, even those of us who have been here in Augusta for a long time, it's amazing when you learn the history of this city and the people who are a part of it. Lucy Craft Laney learned to read at the age of 4 at a time when it was illegal for black children to read in the state of Georgia. She founded the first school in Augusta for black children back in 1883 and was the principal there for 50 years, and now the museum that bears her name right across the street and her final resting place in front of Lucy Laney High School across Laney Walker Boulevard. She died in 1933. And she also has her name maybe on schools in Columbus, Georgia, and Minneapolis, Minnesota. So that is where the name Laney comes from.
It's a proud tradition, and also it's been carried over by the athletic programs at Laney, the girls basketball team, the boys basketball team, the football team, you know, battling for state championships, getting state championships. They have made her proud for sure.
Johnson on 4th and short. Gets the push and the first down.
Yeah, he just carried everybody with him over the marker. He needed to get past the 40, and he gets down to close to the 38.
It is a first down for the Rebels.
So it'll be 1st and 10 from the 38-yard line. These two offenses just keep throwing haymakers.
Yeah, and I mean, with Johnson, you know, he looks like a battering ram, but he's got some speed too. When he gets into the open field, he's just a dangerous customer. And the same thing on the other side with Carl Holmes. Just we're going to see two teams tonight, also two teams that will give them the football. They're not going to rest them. You'll see these guys both get a bunch of carries tonight, I would think.
Nobody has a defensive stop in this game so far. Now we will see Hephzibah air it out. And a lot of contact at the 5, but no flag. And a nice defensive play back there.
A little bit too much air got under that one. They were trying to go to Deontay Singleton.
Second down.
Took a hit as he threw the football, did the QB there. Yeah, man, there was a lot of contact.
Yeah, Jaquavius Kemp will take it.
Yeah, we had the luxury of the instant replay.
So 2nd and 10 now from the 38.
Just keeping Laney honest, letting them know they'll take a shot downfield if they need to.
Gant looks for some advice from the Hephzibah sideline. The running backs will switch places. And it's Johnson on the misdirection.
Yeah,
tripped up at the 35.
Yeah, that's a heck of a tackle out in the open field that time for Laney. That was number 3, Angus Myrick, a junior. And you see big 45 coming your way, and it's you and then a lot of green behind you. But watch this great tackle here in the open field. Now, he did lower his head a little too much, but he at least was able to get a body on the legs and knock him down.
3rd and we'll call it 6. A long 6, short 7. What a great name, Angus Myrick.
Yeah, big 3rd down play here because, you know, if you're
and
they do
going
get a good stop.
nowhere. Chance Bush, the first one in for Laney.
All region linemen can play on both sides of the ball, limping a little bit as he gets up.
Nicholas Turman also helped out.
The reason that's so big, if it's 3rd and 7 and they get 3 or 4 yards, you're setting up a 4th and short. Telly Johnson can run the football. Now you get a stop, you make them lose some yardage, and now it's this is either a punt, a pass. You don't figure you're going to run Telly Johnson.
Ball is placed on the 38-yard line. It is 4th down.
Also 3 to be exact.
Yeah, they're keeping the offense out there. They're going to pass, you know, some sort of pass play. 5 wide receivers.
So Gant to air it out. And overshot his man at the 20-yard line.
Yeah, he had a receiver wide open. That was Singleton. No, it wasn't Singleton. It was 10. That is Kogel. He had Kogel wide open on the play. 6'2", 6'3", and he just simply overthrew him. Got a little excited there and put too much air on it.
So for the first time tonight, we have a defensive stand, and it's the Laney Wildcats who will take over at the 38-yard line with 23 and change to go here in the first.
Yeah, both these squads were playoff teams last year. Laney, of course, really good 8-3 campaign. They were 8-2 in the regular season with one of those losses, a 1-point loss to the state champion Thompson Bulldogs. So they had a great year. Didn't go as far in the playoffs as they would have liked, but a really solid campaign.
Likely the last snap of the first quarter. And Holmes will be taken down just across the 40-yard line. Pickup of a couple.
And there to make the tackle for Hephzibah was Justin Allen.
Ball's placed at the 41-yard line. 2nd down, Wildcats.
And that'll do it for quarter number 1. Entertaining first quarter, fellas.
Oh, yeah.
I enjoyed it. All right, we got 3 to go. 8-7. Laney over Hephzibah after 12 minutes. part of the Laney Wildcat cheering section here at Lucy Laney Memorial Stadium. 8-7 Wildcats lead as we begin the second quarter of play, and 2nd and 3. Or 2nd and 7, I should say. And Holmes will keep and pick up first down across midfield into Hephzibah territory.
He's worth the price of admission. I mean, he is an outstanding talent. Carl Holmes, CJ, there he is, number 2. Not as big as Telly Johnson, but a game breaker just like his counterpart for Hephzibah.
Ball is placed on the 52-yard line. First down, Wildcats. I think that offense is heating up, folks.
We have plummeted to a feels like temperature of 97 degrees, guys.
Ah, man. Need the jackets between plays.
Bundling up in the stands. Holmes, no gain on first down.
Yeah, ball came out, but he was already down.
Yeah, after that first down play, we'll go ahead and get in the QBs by the quarter from the first quarter. We had Hephzibah. As Gant was 0 of 3 passing. He did have 4 rushing attempts for 19 yards, and CJ Holmes for Laney, all on the ground, 7 attempts, 58 yards, and a touchdown.
Second and 10 from the 48. Line to make is the 38-yard line of Hephzibah. Holmes looking for blocking. Didn't happen. Loss of 2.
Yeah, good job coming up and making the play that time for Hephzibah's number 23, Trayon Brown. We've called his name a couple of times tonight. Not afraid to stick his hat in there.
Carl, C.J. Holmes from the Wildcats. We're going into 3rd down, folks.
It's a loss of 1 officially. 3rd and 11. Laney picked up its first defensive stand at the end of the first quarter. Hephzibah trying to answer the call here at the beginning of the second.
Yeah, and with the ball at midfield, not really in a position you wouldn't think to go for it unless you pick up about 7 or 8 or more here.
Holmes wants to throw. He's got him. Could be about 4 yards shy of a first down, dragged out at the 41-yard line.
Now you got a decision, though. They put it in that range.
That was Angus Myrick on the receiving end. So we'll see what Ronnie Baker wants to do here on 4th down. Got to be 4th and 5. They spotted it at the 43-yard line.
They're leaving the offense out there. A little bit of confusion, though. Daggett is at quarterback. They've got
oh boy.
Well, that hurts.
Well, that might make the decision a little easier.
Offense, still 4th down.
But from 4th and 5, we go to 4th and 10. So with that, Coach Baker will run the punt team onto the field.
All right, looks like that penalty was on the Wildcats. They're moved back to the 48-yard line. Still 4th down. Fans, let's pump up this offense. We got to get that first down.
Deontay Singleton stands at his 12-yard line. Good bounce for the Rebels.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad punt, but it took a bad bounce for Laney.
They'll set up shop at the 27-yard line. And that gives us a chance to check in with Kira Goldstein, who's got an injury update on the Laney sideline.
Yeah, you know, I was talking to Chance Bush before the game, and he was saying that last week they were a little bit injury prone, that he had some issues with his ankle, and then we saw him limping a little bit off the field. I went and checked in with him. He's getting his ankle wrapped. He's unsure if he's going to return to the game, but we're hoping to see him back on the field in just a little bit. Back up to you.
Kira thinks that would be a big loss.
That's a big blow. Yeah, he's their best lineman, their most experienced lineman. He plays on both sides of the ball too, and that would be a big blow to Laney in that ground attack if he's not able to come back. So we'll keep an eye on that. Telly Johnson and the Rebels back on offense.
And it is Johnson. And an easy 7 yards. I say easy from up here. He makes it look easy.
Yeah. He was dragging about 195-pound guy with him, so probably not easy for him. Watch his play, and it was a good play to hold on to it by the defender.
And Jaden Shaw held on and didn't let go. But a pickup of 6.
Telly just reminds me of those we use that term throwback, old school. That's right. He would fit in any era. He reminds me of that 1960s running back,
Gant on the keeper to the line of scrimmage.
And the young folks, I'll date myself here, won't remember some of these names, but like Larry Zonka and those style backs that would just as soon hit you as try to run around you.
Way before Nathan and my time.
I think you remember Larry Zonka.
I've heard the name a time or two.
Nathan, maybe not.
Third and 2 from the 35-yard line.
And you see him getting the signals here.
Johnson, first down. Would have had a lot more. Somebody grabbed him by a shoelace.
Yeah, he got tripped up in there. Might have been Holmes that got him.
But a first down nonetheless at the 42-yard line.
You're right. If Holmes didn't trip him up, though, he was running full speed into that secondary. That could have been a big, big gainer. So good job by Holmes to get a hand on that foot and bring him down.
And good news for the Laney Wildcats, as Kira tells us from the sidelines, that Chance Bush is back in the game.
Yeah, that's the big thing. He helps him on both sides of the ball. He's in there now at nose tackle.
Oh,
wow.
Upended
nice
by
play.
Jaden Shaw, who's had a couple of big plays already in this game for Laney.
Huge play there by Shaw. And again, you got that when your defensive, Chance Bush being in there, when your defensive tackles can make the offensive lineman deal with them, and look at that hole opened up for Shaw Sharp to just come in there and make that play on Telly Johnson. Big hit there.
Loss of 1, 2nd and 11.
I said Sharp, Shaw, Jaden Shaw. So, Telly Johnson checks out of the game momentarily.
Gant in trouble. Down he goes. A host of red shirts.
Yeah, he was looking to throw but didn't have any time.
Believe that was DeMonte Harris and also Marcus Taylor.
Well, after Hephzibah's first drive where they just really marched down the field, they were stopped last possession, and right now this drive in jeopardy. 3rd and long here, yeah.
And from your lips to Daniel Dorsey's ears, he doesn't like what he sees on offense. And so the Rebels will take timeout, so will we. 5:50 left to play in the game. 8-7, Laney leads after an action-packed first quarter. It's sort of a defensive struggle here in quarter number 2. And how about the Payton College Lions showing up, coming down Laney Walker Boulevard from a couple of miles away to show out for the Laney Wildcats.
Love it. Love it, love it. Nathan let me know Hephzibah, since that first drive, only has 12 yards of offense. So Laney's defense has stiffened up a little bit.
You don't think it's hot out there?
Yeah.
Look at these guys.
Yeah.
Well, this would be a great time for us to point out. Thanks to the Richmond County Board of Education for the nice climate-controlled press box that we have.
That's right.
The air conditioner is working.
Or else I'd be laying out like they were in here. I'd be calling the game from my back.
While they take a break and from this heat, let's take a look at what's coming up on Local Living next week.
Hey everyone, it's Anna Christina. Be sure to tune in to Local Living this Saturday to catch our new Eating Local segment with Mir and Fusion Kitchen.
Local Living, Saturday morning at 9:30 on News Channel 6.
So I don't know what that beverage was, but it looked quite refreshing.
It did look
Good.
There was a beverage? I saw the food.
Looking at the food too.
It's as hot as it is. It looked really nice. Kyle Thomas, our director, who also directs Local Living, tells me it was boba tea.
Okay.
I've never
My
partaken.
daughter is a Monster fan. That's one of her favorites. I have not partaken.
I'm with you. So coming out of the weather timeout, we'll take it, or we'll call it. 3rd and 14 from the 39-yard line.
Yeah, they just need a completion, even if they don't get a first down, just some confidence for their quarterback here.
Again, Gant being pressured. Again, Gant goes down. Did a good job to hang on to the football and slung to the ground by Joseph Thomas, a sophomore lineman.
Yeah, there's the flag down and a helmet down.
Hephzibah pointing at the Wildcats.
Hopefully it wasn't a taunting penalty there at the end.
You know, Thomas got the sack, but, man, big credit goes to Nicholas Turman. He was the man that made the quarterback bolt to the outside and allow his teammate to get the sack there. So good job by 21, Nicholas Turman.
Here comes the call.
Looks like that flag was against Laney.
That's a big one there.
Marking it off. Shake it off, Wildcats.
Penalty number 8 for Laney.
Instead of them punting the football,
Number 23,
now they've got
23.
3rd and manageable.
And, yeah, 3rd and 6, 3rd and a long 6 from the 48-yard line.
47-yard line.
And
Anytime you can get your defense off the field and you have a miscue that leaves them out there, that is not a good thing, and it'll drive coaches crazy. You can bet Coach Baker will bring this play up when they're watching this film.
you see the down marker, you see the line to make. Great job by our camera crew, and Johnson won't get there.
Good stop, Wildcat defense. Good run by the Rebels.
Demarion Johnson, I believe, was the first one there to stop Johnson.
Man,
So
good job.
Johnson on Johnson.
They came right into the hole that Johnson happened to be running through and able to make a nice stop for the Laney defense.
You think that defense can stop right here? I know he can.
So Justice Whitfield will come on to kick it away for the Rebels. Under 5 minutes now in the half. I thought we were going to have sort of a 50-45 thing after the first quarter.
It looked that way.
Good kick.
And
It's Holmes.
good job by him to catch that one before it bounced.
And Holmes with a good return. And the Wildcats are in good field position near midfield at the 49-yard line.
CJ Holmes is just so smooth. It looks like he's never even trying to run hard. Watch this. I mean, he's obviously got great speed and quickness, and he gets to the outside, and then watch. He just says, okay, wait, let's just get behind my blocker and under control. It's one of those guys that nothing seems to faze him. Great run there.
Spotted at the 46. That's where the Wildcats set up shop here.
26-yard return.
Sets him up with really nice field position.
And here we go, fans. We're going to resume this fan Wildcat first down.
First and 10 from the 46. Holmes on the keeper. Climbs over one man, can't make the second man miss. Up to the 49. And it was Daggett, actually.
Well, football fans, Georgia Army National Guard offers much more than you might think. You can get a degree with money for school, learn job skills that translate to the civilian world, make bonds that last a lifetime, and earn pride for life. When you become a Guard soldier, your family will thank you, your country will thank you, and your future will owe you.
3-yard pickup for Daggett. And he will remain in the game on second down. And take it again. And stop just shy of midfield.
Man, there's some good battles going on up front on both sides of the ball. Laney with a good surge, but then Hephzibah kind of pushed right back at him there.
Ball is placed on the 50-yard line.
They will give him forward progress to the 50. So 3rd and 5.
Fans, let's pump up that
It's just funny, you're right. You know, the first possession, it didn't look like either defense was going to be able to stop the other offense. And since then, they've both done a pretty good job.
But don't forget, we have the Eichel's Law Firm halftime show coming your way with Kira. She has some special guests standing by for us. We'll hear from the marching bands, take a look at the scoreboard around the area, all coming up, easy for me to say, on the Eichels Law Firm halftime show. We're going to have a 4th and about 4 coming up for the Wildcats.
Yeah, big hit right there in the middle of the field again. And you mentioned this player's name earlier in the game, Logan Hayward, coming up making a big hit. He's only a sophomore. Coach Dorsey talking him up big time in our interview on the radio side last night.
This is interesting here. They're going to go for this 4th down right at midfield with only 2:30 left on the clock in the first half.
They could be just trying to draw him. Let's see. They go for it a lot. I mean, so I wouldn't be stunned. And they are going to run it.
And they will run it. And they will be very close. Ooh, it's going to depend on the spot. We might have a measurement here.
The ball came out at the end of the play.
Pretty sure he's got it.
Yeah, based on where they're standing, they're giving it to him.
Yeah, they will go ahead and move the chains. First down, gutsy call by Ronnie Baker, and it will pay off.
Let's see, watch this last little. That's just keeping the legs moving, and then you see him reach with the football. And that's what the Laney Hephzibah players were saying. Hey, he lost the ball, but he was already down at the time.
How many times have we seen a guy reach and lose the football, but this time he gets the first down for the Wildcats. 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line. The drive continues for Laney. Daggett. Nothing.
Good surge again up front.
And that's Whitfield and Rante Bird.
Yeah, Whitfield in there, and you mentioned Bird. That was just a good surge up front. A host of Rebels. Also Brown in the mix. Minute 19 and counting.
Officially a gain of 1. We'll call it 2nd and 9.
See if they try to go to the air at all. Daggett in there, quarterback.
Good call, AB. Daggett wanted to throw, will throw.
We got a hold in the backfield.
Not going to matter.
That was in traffic. Holmes almost went up and made a great catch, but he drops the football. Not happy with himself there.
Sound and fury signifying nothing.
Take him back.
Laney hurt themselves on the clock there. Some extra time running off.
34.1 left. There you see the hold call on the Wildcats. So instead of 3rd and 9.
2nd and 19.
2nd and 19.
You know, some people would say, do you just take it to the locker room here? But when you got Holmes, I think you give it to him and at least let him run it, if nothing else, and take a chance on a couple of plays with him if he can pick up some, decent yardage here.
Clock is running.
Now they're going to.
And it stopped with 31.3 seconds left.
Oh, they put some more time back on the clock.
Now they put,
they did.
Now they put it up
right.
to 48 seconds. They got it right time-wise. And the Cats will try to bite off some more yards here before the half. Maybe just looking for a pass interference call there.
Yeah, Holmes wanted it. He thought he got pushed in the back. There were a lot of defenders there. Look, if you're Hephzibah and you see 2 running out for a pattern, put 2 people on him. I mean, that would kind of make sense to me, and that's what they've done. The difference, though, when you do try to throw the ball, these incomplete passes stop the clock, and now you might have to give, if you don't get some yardage here, give the football back to Hephzibah.
And Hephzibah does have 2 timeouts left.
Or try to punt it. And we've seen this year, and we saw a lot last year, the snaps on some of these punts have not gone well. We really, for a few years now, we've seen that kind
especially
of as a
early
trend.
in the season.
Yeah.
Daggett throws, flag, out of bounds at the 38, or 42, I should say.
Looks like there's a flag on the play.
Hold up, man.
And again on the Wildcats.
Yep. They're piling up the penalties.
Man downfield on the offense, still third down. No, right
So
there.
an eligible downfield will go from 3rd and 19. Nathan has his calculator out.
Should be 3rd and 24. Oh, no.
Either way, if you're Hephzibah after this play, if they don't get a first down, you probably want to call a timeout here, stop the clock, make them punt it.
I was going to say they never moved the ball. There we go. Okay.
Yeah.
There's your 3rd and 24.
Move the ball to the 42-yard line.
Yeah, that's even 10 penalties in the first half for Laney.
Well, you're in a close game, and, man, you just can't afford to do that in a tight ball game.
So 3rd down, and the Cats need to get to Gordon Highway for a first down, and another flag flies. So does the football. It is almost picked off, and we'll catch another call.
Looks like there's another flag on the play.
Might decline this one.
We got a Hephzibah player out there doing push-ups. I guess he dropped an interception. That's probably a
Go ahead and get him out of the way.
little
Coach
team-
is going to make you
That's
anyway.
a little team thing, probably.
Love it.
I do too, man. I love it. There's so many little things like that if you've
Defense,
never
still
played
third down.
team sports, you just don't even know about.
No, excuse me. It's a penalty on Hephzibah.
Well, that could make things a little more interesting.
Yeah.
30.8 seconds left.
Ball is placed on the 47-yard line. Hey, folks, let's get this offense pumped up.
The push-ups reminds me of Willie Mays Hayes in Major League.
One thing I'll say, C.J. Holmes, you see some frustration, and I'm going to get on my old man soapbox here, but I get it. I know he's frustrated, but, man, kids these days have to realize that's some of the first stuff coaches are looking at. You know, they're looking at how you're acting when you're not in the game, or you cheering your teammates on, and that attitude thing. And I'm not saying he's had a bad attitude, but just that being down and showing that emotion as Daggett picks up nice yardage.
Yeah, Danny Daggett almost picked up the first down.
Yeah.
Going to slide at
Would
the
have it.
full
Yeah.
37-yard line.
He
Clock
would
stops
have.
at 14 and a half.
He slipped at the end of the play, or he would have had the first down. He saw Telly Johnson and tried to cut.
He's going to blame the turf for that.
Yeah.
So Laney will have 14 and a half seconds with the ball on the 43-yard line, 1st and 10, or 4th and 4. So this is another decision time for Ronnie Baker.
You got to get the
He's
first.
going to go for it,
Yeah,
but what do you do for it?
I think you got to get something to the outside so you can get the first down and stop the clock. I know the clock stops on the chains, but once they get those chains set, it's going to start running again. If you want to give yourself 2 plays, try to get out of bounds.
Yeah, I don't know if they run it, they're going to be able to get
Yeah.
to the line and get another play. They almost may have to just throw it to the end
Throw a
zone.
little, or throw a little
throw it.
screen pass to
that Holmes play where he ran
Yeah.
to the sideline.
Yeah, I like that play call there for sure.
So is that what we're going with?
That's what I think they're going to do. At least they should, in my opinion.
I go about the 5 to 10 yard out to Holmes there.
8, the Lucy Laney Wildcats, and 7.
I certainly understand if they throw this ball to the end zone.
Yeah, yeah.
No, I like to live another play here. 14. If there were less than 10 seconds left, I would say chunk it to the end zone.
I even say you got the Hephzibah guys playing so far off of them, you almost could just throw a quick screen to Holmes and let him run.
You've already locked in your vote.
Oh, it's a screen. It's a pass to Holmes in the flat either way.
And there it is. And it will be a first down up to the 32 clock inside
gotta
10
go
seconds.
down.
He's got to get on the ground, 6.2 seconds left. And it will be a first down. But now Laney probably with only one chance to kick it there, to chunk it to the end zone.
Clock. You got to clock the football here. Stop that clock once it starts running here.
Clock running, 4, 3, 2,
Got it
1.
down.
They're not going to get another play.
And Laney could not get up and clock the football. Wow. That will not make Ronnie Baker happy, even though he does have the lead going into the half.
Yeah, that's frustrating for everybody. You had a chance to maybe throw one up and, who knows, get a touchdown. We see it happen all the time, but instead it runs out.
And Ronnie Baker also not happy with the officials, and not happy probably with the number of penalties called against Laney here in this first half. There you can see him walking at the 10-yard line with the officials as they head to the locker room, and Kira right behind him. And we will send it down to Kira with Coach Ronnie Baker, who's not exactly happy with the officials at the moment.
Coach, we're going to walk and talk. We're going to walk this way. Can you tell me at the very end there, I know you were unhappy with the officials. Can you tell me what was going on there?
He's not unhappy with them. They just have to do their job at the best they can be able to, and I just have to deal with whatever the consequences are. They got a tough job, so I just respect what they do.
You started out pretty strong, but you're only going in with a 1-point lead. Can you tell me what your message is going to be to the team at half?
We just got to get a little bit more physical up front. They kind of doing their thing, holding us up, so we got to break away and be a little bit more physical at the point of attack.
I'm going to turn around a little bit, and can you just tell me what is going to be, when you come back, what is going to be your message to the team to get them really riled up for the second half?
There's no really riled up. There's no really, message that you have to give them to get fired up for the game. They up for the game. We playing a good game. We playing a tough opponent. We just have to, make the right plays at the right time.
Thanks for the time, Coach. Appreciate it. Back up to you guys. We'll be right back. One of the prides of Laney High School is the band, and I am proud to present them. They are performing behind me. Band, take it away. I'm here with some of my friends from Hephzibah Pharmacy, and can you introduce yourself and then tell me what types of services do you offer at the pharmacy?
Yes, my name is Sonia Paget, and in addition to traditional pharmacy services, we offer compliance packaging, delivery, immunizations, just to name a few.
And then can you tell me what makes your pharmacy different from other pharmacies?
My name is Laura Bohannon. We are a fast and friendly pharmacy. We are family oriented, family owned. We always do it with a smile, and we'll know you by name.
And I know that there's a boutique. Can you tell me a little bit about the boutique?
Yeah, we offer clothing, gifts, seasonal items. Yeah.
And then lastly, if someone wants to visit, can you just tell me a little bit about your hours and where you're located?
Yes, ma'am. My name is Cassie Prickett, and we are open Monday through Friday, 9:30 to 6:30, and Saturday, 9:30 to 1.
Thank you so much. Back it to you guys. Lucy C. Laney High School has a very rich history, and it means the world to the community. Let's now take a deeper look at the high school.
We really want to take those kids that are here, that's actually zoned for Laney High School, and really work towards making them AP material. And so that takes a lot of work to make sure my teachers are on board, make sure the parents are on board, to really push them educationally to ensure that they are meeting the aspects that are needed, or expectations, that are needed to really push forward with their learning. We're proud of the different recognitions that the governor has provided for us. We've been known as the AP school, a challenge school that the governor have recognized Laney High School for. We have a number of our students who take part in our advanced placement program from all over the county, where we have an opportunity to enrich them in meaningful as well as rigorous learning. So they actually have an opportunity to take part in taking a college placement exam. And so that's one thing that we are very happy to announce and continue to push to get more kids a part of our AP program here at Laney High School, as well as our CTE department. We offer our kids cosmetology, law and justice, automotive, JROTC, as well as computer science programming. So trying to give them some technical skills to help prepare them for the real world. But one thing they should look forward to is a rich education, an opportunity where their needs are being met by my staff. So taking those different various assessments, making sure that we develop a plan that support them, whether it's through small group instruction, individualized instruction, or also known as differentiation instruction, to make sure that we meet their learning needs. But also one main thing is engagement. We're really pushing towards making sure our kids are fully engaged in the learning environment. So Laney High School has been in this community for a number of years. Our founder, Ms. Lucy C. Laney, her actual picture is at this house in the Capitol. And so it's one of the first schools that African Americans were able to come to in the Augusta area. It's very rich. Majority of the community is actually matriculated through Laney High School. The school is the hub for this community, and so really trying to get this school out in the community. So one thing, I'm big on service, and so giving our kids the opportunity to serve this community or whatever the community may need, such as we have clothing closet, we have food pantry for those kids who are in need of, really trying to be that resource and avenue for those parents as well as those students who need additional support. One thing that we're trying to teach our kids more of give them opportunity to think before they act. That's so critical because they've been isolated for so long, and so trying to make sure that they understand that, hey, through isolation, now we integrate into the whole entire school. It's very important that we work together to make sure that we're able to help and support one another.
I'm here with Dr. Arun Jain and his lovely wife. And doctor, can you tell me a little bit about your practice?
I have been in Hephzibah area for over 25 years, and I have been providing services for the entire family. So if somebody, for example, is a child, gets fever, has ear infection, can come to me. If somebody has asthma attack, I can treat that right there. Somebody needs a chest X-ray, we will have the services. Somebody comes with a chest pain, we can do the EKG and other things in the office. We also keep ultrasound, echo machines. We can do the lab work in the office. Somebody needs IV fluids because he's dehydrated. We can do it right there. And they don't have to drive to the university hospital for 25 miles from there. If somebody gets a nail in the foot, needs a tetanus shot, we have it right there. Somebody has a laceration or a cut and then needs to be sutured, we can do that. Somebody has a foreign body in the eye, we can remove it. So, you know, we provide a lot of services. If somebody needs the IUD removal, we will do it. Somebody needs the implant removal, we'll do it.
Oh my gosh, on top of everything else that he just listed that he does, he also has a wonderful weight loss program. Can you tell people about that?
So our weight loss program is a little different than others because we have a very comprehensive booklet. We go through the booklet, explain to you what to do and what not to do, what kind of foods to avoid. Then we have made many examples of breakfast, lunches and suppers. So for example, if I tell a person you have to eat 400 calorie breakfast, that person is puzzled how to put it together. So we have put together 400 calories diets, 500 calorie diets, 600 calorie diets. So that way they can say, well, breakfast is 400. So they know there are a lot of choices. And they can say, okay, I'll pick one of these. So that is very easy for patients to follow. Also, we have not limited them. That's if they want to eat out. I have found many restaurants which are offering reasonably good food, which is not too high in calories. So they can go there. So most of the fast food restaurants we are covering, we have excellent results. And we do give, some people need diet pills, for example, diet suppressants. Also, we have now added Ozempic. So Ozempic is now taking off. And so Ozempic works by slowing down your digestive system. So we have a lot of successful patients. In the last 25 years, I must have helped thousands of patients on the weight loss.
Wow, thank you so much. If you want to contact this incredible doctor, look up Dr. Jane. Thank you so much for your time, and we'll be right back.
The Eichholz Law Firm halftime show continues from Lucy C. Laney Memorial Stadium, and the Laney Wildcats are making their way back onto the field as they lead 8-7 here at the half, and allows us time to check in on our QBs by the quarter.
Yes, so in the first half for Hephzibah, Gant was 0 of 3 passing. He did have 6 rushes for 17 yards. And then we looked to the Laney side. Holmes was 1 of 1 for 6 yards. He definitely ran the ball on the ground for 74 yards on 12 carries and a touchdown, and definitely just stuck with Holmes. We know they were playing a couple of quarterbacks.
Yeah, you know, AB, it's just been it's been a ground game. Not a lot going on for either side through the air.
Yeah, just 14 total yards through the air and 190 on the ground. You see there, Laney with 14 yards passing, but 120 rushing. Hephzibah with the 70 on the ground. Neither team turned the ball over. Pretty clean there. Not clean in terms of penalties, because you see at the bottom, 10 penalties for 69 yards on Laney. You know Coach Baker's going to want to clean that up. Hephzibah pretty clean, just 3 penalties against the Rebels.
Yeah, I mean, and I think that 69 yards worth of penalties has been the big storyline for Laney here in the first half. Could be a bigger lead for the Cats if not for those flags.
Well, and we talked a lot about Telly Johnson, and you heard, Nathan talk about Holmes' yards. Telly Johnson, 49 yards in the first half, while Holmes had 74. Both guys had touchdowns, but Holmes has got out into the open field certainly more than Telly Johnson's been able to so far.
This is our big game tonight, but there are a lot of big matchups across the area. Let's take a look at your high school scoreboard.
Oh, and some surprises. I don't think many people, after Strom Thurmond beat Laney last week, thought Midland Valley was going to do this, but Trayvon Dunbar must be having a good game. 14-3 Midland Valley. We knew Lexington was going to be a tall order for South Aiken. They are beating the Thoroughbreds pretty soundly right now. Lincoln County all over McCormick. Grovetown coming off a loss to Midland Valley. Greenbrier's going to have a rough year. They're very down this year. Also, you've got Bamberg Earhart over Benmark Oler. Saluda, always tough. They lead Ridge Spring by a big margin. North Augusta coming off a win over Evans, but different opponent tonight. Dorman, a very good football team. They lead 21-7. And Thompson trying to take out some revenge after a tough start last week with a loss to Burke County. They are blanking Jefferson County 19-0 the score there.
So yeah, we'll have all those scores and highlights coming up for you on Football Friday night at 11:35 over on WJBF News Channel 6. You see at the top of your screen the Hephzibah Rebels making their way back onto the field. 8-7 is your score as we get ready for the second half kickoff, which, by the way, will be taken by the Laney Wildcats, who deferred after winning the opening coin toss. So let's show you how we got here at our first half highlights.
Well, you see that Telly Johnson's going to, if you have a Hephzibah game, you're going to have some Telly Johnson highlights there. A nice run up the middle. And again, nothing fancy. He did make a nice little shake to the outside there. Laney's defense swarming, but Telly still able to pick up good yardage. Direct snap here, and he just misses getting into the end zone on a nice hit there at the end of the play.
And it seems like he's had a bit of a quiet night tonight, but he averaged 100 yards a game last year. He's on pace for that tonight.
Yeah, exactly. 49, and there he gets into the end zone. They made the extra point. It was 7-0. That was the very first possession. And then Laney took over, and here's Danny Daggett on a nice run, just following his blockers. The big star on offense, though, was that man, C.J. Holmes. And you see him just being patient, and then he gets into the open field and kicks it in and picked up a great long gain there along the right side.
Holmes with 74 yards in the first half.
And that touchdown right there, they get the touchdown, and then, of course, they didn't kick it. Instead, they went for 2. And you see it right here. This is the difference in the ball game right now. A direct snap again to Johnson, or to Holmes, and he gets into the end zone for the extra point or the 2-point conversion, and that's where we stand with Laney up 8-7. And just one final play here, a nice run to the outside by the QB Gant before he slides down at midfield.
And so with that, here we are, 8-7 at the half, and Laney awaits the second half kickoff. That is next. Thank you for watching the Eichholz Law Firm Halftime Show.
I'm here on the sideline with Coach Dorsey. And, Coach, can you tell me what your message to the team was at the half to get them going in the second?
We got to finish. We got to finish. That's basically all it was. We got to finish.
I know that we talked about that earlier when we talk about finishing. Talk to me about Carl Holmes. He's got 74 yards so far. How do you lock up a guy like that?
We just got to do a better job tackling and then getting off the field on third downs.
As far as this game, can you talk to me a little bit about the rivalry between Hephzibah and Laney and what it means to you to play in this game tonight?
It means a lot. It means a whole lot more to the kids. You know, a lot of them, like I said, grew up together, playing together. So, you know, there's a lot of rivalries going on tonight.
Appreciate the time, Coach. Thanks so much. Back up to you guys.
Kira, thanks. Daniel Dorsey led this Hephzibah team to the playoffs last year, first time they'd been since 2019. And when he got this job, the officials with the Richmond County School Board said they wanted a coach at Hephzibah who was a teacher first and a coach second. And I think you can see that in his personality and the way he talks about his kids.
Yeah, for sure. I was, I had him on last year on the radio show, very impressed and love what he did with the team a year ago. He's actually one of my good friends from high school, a guy that I respect a lot, named Corey Bowdry, is his uncle. And Corey started off waiting tables basically in the hospitality area for the Atlanta Braves. And he worked his way into being an assistant general manager in professional baseball.
Wow.
He was the ticket manager for the Boston Red Sox for a while. Theo Epstein loved him. Corey has done a lot in professional sports and owns his own business now. And I can tell that Daniel Dorsey is kind of a chip off the block of his uncle for sure.
Can your friend get me free tickets?
Well, I mean, he's not a ticket manager anymore.
I'm always a day late and a dollar short. Kickoff goes out of bounds to start the second half.
More than $1 these days.
Oh, I bet.
Going to any game. Speaking of games, did you tune in? There was some preseason action last night.
Nope, missed it. Well, hey, if you're going to play your starters against the other team's second and third stringers, what do you expect?
Oh, I knew that was coming.
Sticking the knife in.
I waited until the second half.
Oh, man, I can't wait for the trivia question now.
Oh, God. He had a hard one and an easy one. I'm getting a hard one now.
I may have to switch it up, actually.
Nah, we did, in fairness, we did play our starters.
They look good, though. Those starters did.
Yeah. George Pickens, former Georgia
guy,
made a nice play.
I thought when the Steelers picked him, that, no pun intended, that was the steal in that draft.
Yeah.
So we'll line it up and do it again.
I saw at least one guy's bowl prediction, Steelers make AFC Championship.
Oh, I don't know about that. I don't even like hearing that. Now we're cursed. I'm that fan. Whitfield to get us started.
Other side of the field, same result.
Oh, no.
No, it didn't go out of bounds.
Oh, wow, they picked it up.
And on the return is Tyquavius Kemp, and he'll have it up to the 40-yard line. I could have sworn that one, from where we're sitting, looked like that one was way out of bounds.
It's one of those bounces you only get on artificial turf.
Yeah. I can't say enough about how good it looks out here, though. The field turf, and they already had a great facility, but you add that, and I know they've got some other things coming with some padding for the goalposts and things like that, and really looking forward to seeing that. And this is just one of 4 high schools in Richmond County that already have the field turf, and just got to love that for the schools and the kids. It create some excitement, just something new for them,
And again, visiting with Ronnie Baker yesterday, he couldn't talk enough about how his kids are. It just does a lot for the morale of your program.
Mm-hmm.
So it's Holmes on first down. Good field position to start for the Wildcats, and he'll have a couple to the 42.
Yeah, a couple of Rebels in there. Number 19, Lamar Daniels, and number 2, Justin Allen in on the tackle. Brothersville, you see that on the back of the jerseys for the Rebels.
All right, this is not your trivia question, but do you know where the term Brothersville comes from?
It's an area out there where Hephzibah was formed, correct?
It was the original name of Hephzibah because 3 brothers from the Appling area settled out there, and so they named it Brothersville.
It sounds like the next Taylor Sheridan show. Brothersville, 1916.
The better question, that's a great point. They could do that, yeah. The better question is, where did the name Hephzibah come from?
Oh, man.
This is also not your trivia question, by the way.
Well, good. I have no idea.
It's biblical. It's from the book of Isaiah, Isaiah 6:24 to be specific, and it refers to the city of Jerusalem, saying, "My delight is in her." The name Hephzibah means my delight is in her. And the delight is for the Rebels right now because they're going to pick up first down across midfield. Or the Cats, I should say.
Laney trying to get something going here, start the second half. They do get the first down.
Into Hephzibah territory at the 49.
Big Chance Bush there, number 56, the leader on that front offensively.
And remember, he was shaken up a little bit earlier in the game, so good to see him back in, playing well.
Yeah, re-aggravated an ankle injury from last week in that loss to Strom Thurmond. They got him kind of set up as, putting him in motion now.
It'll be Holmes on the keeper. And he never went down, or did he?
Well,
Telly got in there,
yeah.
But I think he spun off of him and picked up 3 or 4 more.
They better be glad Telly slowed him down, because watch the blocking. Chance Bush up front, the back and the pulling guard kick out the defensive end, and there was a lot of room to run, but Telly Johnson came flying through there and made the play. Here's Telly. He just looks like a player. I don't know if it's the number 45. I don't know what it is. He just looks like he would run over you just to look at you. And he's got the tape falling off. Just love it. He was so fun to watch last year in that game against Richmond. He had a big game on offense and a big game on defense.
It wasn't fun for Richmond.
No, not fun for Richmond. There's
How
a
about
good
this
run.
big game? Tough run up the middle to the 29-yard line. That's a 17-yard burst.
See who that was. That looked different. First time we cut James Pride, right?
James Pride.
Yeah. That's a good run. He's usually been the blocker, but man, good run by James Pride there.
Well, the marching band here at Laney is the Pride of Augusta right now. The Pride is James.
Yeah, that was a great run. We were just talking about how Telly Johnson's the smash mouth guy. Well, Pride said, wait a second, I can do that too, and we got some movement up front.
First and 10 from the Hephzibah 30 before the flag.
Now that is penalty number 11 on the Wildcats.
It's 69 yards worth of penalties in the first half.
The Wildcats moving them back. Still first down.
So first and 15 from the 35.
And they've got Pride in there for the direct snap again.
And Johnson, the second man, and the first was Daniel Hargrove, who had a couple tackles for loss last week.
And this time he just kind of falls forward, picks up a yard. So second and about 14 now for Laney. And they bring Daggett back in.
Ball's placed on the 34-yard line. Second down, Wildcat offense. Let's go.
That's something we talked about during the half. Both of these coaches, with the heat and humidity down there, cycling in a lot of fresh legs.
Well, and Hephzibah graduated their 4 leading tacklers last year. So the fact that they are able to, slow Laney down in that first half says a lot about the up-and-coming guys. We mentioned the JV team the last 2 years has been very good, and some of these kids have moved up to the varsity and haven't missed a beat.
Daggett. Couple. I'm glad you said they lost their leading 4 tacklers, because I was listening to Coach Dorsey on your radio show last night, and I was doing my homework on the way home, and then I got home and couldn't remember what he said.
Well,
so I'm glad you mentioned
he actually said 2, but it's actually 4.
Oh.
It's actually their top 4. But yeah, but he said that a lot of these guys got playing time last year. They weren't necessarily the leaders, but they got a chance to play and get in there and make some plays. So yeah, they try to keep some fresh guys in there. And right now the defense, they're bending a little bit here with Laney on the move, but they did a good job in that first half. Laney certainly hurt themselves with some penalties as well.
3rd and 12. Need to get to the 21. And Daggett's pass batted down. Nice play by Justice Whitfield, who does a little bit of everything. He's the kicker, he's the punter.
Yeah, Whitfield just got a hand up. Sometimes that's all you got. Yeah, nice play. He anticipated that beautifully.
Yeah, Holmes was out there.
So 4th down, but they're kind of in no man's land, so we'll see if they can design a play to get 12 yards here. And they've got Holmes down to the bottom of your screen to the near side of the field.
Daggett at quarterback.
Yeah, they struggled throwing the football in the first half.
Yeah, did not complete a pass in the first half, and they're not going to complete one here. And Hephzibah will take over on downs. So Hephzibah has the ball back, trailing 8-7, 6:29 left in the third. My apologies to the Laney offense. They did have a couple of completions in the first half. It was Hephzibah that went 0 for. But the Rebels offense takes over here. Down 1, 6:29 to play in the third quarter.
And Telly Johnson back in that wild Rebel formation.
Can't call it the Wildcat tonight when you're playing against the Cats. And everybody in the ballpark knew what was coming, and he's still just knocking people over. 25-yard gains. He's
look
still
at
on
this.
his feet.
What
down
a
the sideline.
run.
Telly.
What a run.
Johnson. Oh, my goodness.
He got a pancake and a touchdown.
68 yards for 6.
Watch him run over his
Told
own
his
man.
teammate to get out of the way.
Yeah, I mean, told him, yeah, with authority.
Get out of the way.
And watch this right here, this little fake. And then, whoop, got right back to the outside. And then, hey, the guy, give
look,
credit.
Deontay Singleton got back up and threw another block.
That's right. The guy that got knocked down, Deontay Singleton, got up and helped shield for him to get that touchdown. What a big play for Hephzibah.
So Telly Johnson, who in the first half had 49 yards, 68 on the touchdown run, and now for the extra point. And Whitfield, no good. Well, that could come in to be interesting later in this game. But for now, it's the Rebels taking the lead, 13-8, 6:15 left to go here in the third. Hey, Hephzibah's got the lead right now, but you want proof you can go from this stadium right here to the top of football? How about this guy, Jalen Watson, former Laney Wildcat, also played at Curtis Baptist, by the way.
He did.
He graduated from Laney. There's a great look at Jalen. Graduated from Laney, went to Ventura Community College, went the community college route, and actually was out of football in 2019. Came home to work on his grades, worked at Wendy's down the street here. His mom was the manager there. Ended up back at Washington State University, then was two-time All-American, All Pac-12, I should say, honorable mention. Went 7th in the 2022 NFL Draft. And how about his performance last year in the NFL playoffs?
Unreal. And really, the whole season, he made big plays. Like, not just that he had a good year, he made big plays, touchdowns, interceptions. Phenomenal year for him.
2 interceptions in the playoffs for Jalen. He had 3 tackles in the Super Bowl, and he's a Super Bowl champion.
And a border bowler.
So.
Well, I think he'll probably take the Super Bowl champion. Notch one.
You'll have to ask Jalen.
We love the border bowl, but no, we get it.
And the Payne College Lions student section. I appreciate them being on board with us this year. As Laney now finds itself down 5. Holmes on the return. And a pretty good return up to the 37, so pretty good field position for Laney.
Yeah, big hit there, though. A lot of big collisions tonight. That was number 30, Marquavis Chance, a sophomore, on the tackle, number 30 for the Rebels. So let's see if Holmes can answer. Telly Johnson now over 100 yards, 2 touchdowns. That puts him over 300 for his 2 games, or game and a half, not quite 2 games, and also 6 touchdowns now.
Is that pretty good?
Picking right at where he left off last year with 23 in 11 games.
He is fun to watch.
Yeah, that's an early, let's mark that one down. That's an early argument for Player of the Year for sure.
And certainly a candidate for our Play of the Night, the Powerade Play of the Night, which we will reward at the end of the ball game. But a long way to go before we get there.
Oh, yeah, there's plenty of football left here midway through the third quarter. Laney's been able to move the football better than Hephzibah. Hephzibah did have that one big run, but at the half, Laney had a pretty sizable lead yard-wise, 134 total yards to 70. Time of possession was fairly even, just about a minute separated them. And now Pride is back in there for the direct snap.
And you called it AB. And he'll pick up a couple. Bring up 3rd and 6.
Laney trying to get their first win of 2023, dropping a tough one last week to Strom Thurmond. The backup quarterbacks, Brishon Hill, came in and threw 3 TDs for Strom Thurmond to lead them to a victory. Oh, nice
Pride's
play.
going to be dragged down.
Yeah, nice play up front for Hephzibah.
By the way, we'd be remiss if we didn't mention that our good friend, we come to Laney. You can't come here without thinking of Eric Parker, the longtime Laney coach, who rebuilt this program in the early 2000s before going on to win a state championship at Burke County. He's watching the broadcast tonight on the old laptop, according to social media.
Love it.
Hope he's enjoying his Friday night off.
He and I see eye to eye in college football, Florida State fans, but he's a Cowboy, I'm a Steeler, and he posted a picture of him with a Cowboy tee and said it was a good omen for a good round. I said, man, that looks old. Maybe the guy who used it was old enough to have seen last time the Cowboys were in a Super Bowl. He'd have to be really old, though. And that one got tipped.
Yep. Somebody got a hand in there.
Got a piece, yep.
And the Wildcats.
We saw
at the 47.
We saw last week Burke County, of course, blocked 2 punts. One of them set up the winning touchdown as they knocked off Thompson. So big play there because it's going to give going to give Hephzibah great field position.
They'll put it down at the 47. So I bring up Eric Parker for this reason. Eric Parker, obviously a very successful former coach at Hephzibah. But our BrandSmart USA trivia question tonight.
Oh, gosh.
Of course, Ronnie Baker has led Laney to the playoffs in each of his first 2 seasons. Before Ronnie Baker, who was the last Laney coach to lead the Wildcats to the playoffs in each of his first 2 seasons? Think about that. We'll have the answer in the 4th quarter. And while they talk about it on the field, take a break from the heat. Here's what's coming up next week on The Dish.
Hey there, I'm Anna Christina.
And I'm Caroline. Coming up this week, we'll be sharing our top 10 ways to reduce stress, community events, and a birthday winner.
Plus, a local skin guru joins us, and don't miss the story on our Community Connections champion. It's all happening Friday at 12:30 on The Dish.
4:12 to play, 13-8, Hephzibah.
Yeah, big possession really here. I mean, if you're Laney, it's been sort of a slugfest, just two tough teams going at it, but you don't want to fall behind by another score here, and you've given them really good field position.
Mentioned one of the more famous athletes to come out of Laney High School. How about one of the more famous athletes to come out of Hephzibah High School in a completely the opposite end of the spectrum from football, but our good friend Vaughn Taylor.
That's right.
Former Hephzibah Rebel who went on to play at Augusta State University, honorable mention All-America senior year.
One of the nicest professional athletes
you will ever want to meet.
Yeah.
His family, his mom Lynn, and his dad Jack, just salt of the earth type people. 3 PGA Tour wins, top 10 at the 2007 Masters. A lot of people forget about that. He was in the final group on Sunday.
And also people forget he was a Ryder Cupper.
2006.
And the Ryder Cup, of course, coming up next month in Italy. And
he still holds his junior invitational.
Yep.
He grew up in the Goshen neighborhood, riding his bike to play Goshen Plantation as a flag flies in. And one of the first things he did when he became a professional golfer and got a big paycheck was bought his parents a new house. I always liked that.
Well, class act, 100%. And I talk about the work ethic and what got him where he is. I mean, he was a good player, but he put in the work, and I tell this story a lot. You probably just tired of hearing it, but I got to Goshen one day to play golf, and Spike Kelly gave me a nod, or
another one of our great friends,
and said, "Hey, Vaughn's out on the practice range." So as we're playing, I see him out there, but I just saw him. No big. I'm going to play. Didn't want to bother him. We play 18 holes. Come back. We ate, by the way, at the turn. Come back in, and I look over. He's still out there. And when I went in, I said, did he go back out? He goes, I don't think he took a break unless he grabbed a quick sandwich.
That explains a lot. That explains a lot. After this play, I have a little bonus trivia question for you.
All right. And they fake it to Johnson. They're going to throw.
Gant wants a whole bunch, and it is going to be intercepted and picked off. Angus Myrick has had a pretty big night for the Wildcats.
Well, both quarterbacks have really just thrown the ball up into coverage, and this time just overthrew it. Myrick's the only guy that could get it, and he makes a heck of an over-the-shoulder catch, and he does get a foot down. So that is a big play for Laney. Stops
much needed defensive stop.
Gets him the ball right back.
For the Wildcats.
Our first turnover of the game, too. Let's see how what factor that plays in this one. Yeah, that was a heck of an over-the-shoulder catch by Myrick.
But my question real quickly, within two, guess how much Vaughn Taylor has earned as a professional on a PGA Tour?
I'm going to go $21 million.
That's amazing. $20 million.
Is it really?
Yeah, take the rest of the night off.
All right, I'll take that one for my trade.
That's not how it works. Here come the Cats from the 31-yard line. And it's Holmes being chased by Johnson and being taken down. Devontae Dowdle had a couple tackles for loss last week, and another one here. There is a flag.
He did a good job using the stiff arm to keep Telly Johnson away from him. But there you see Dowdle coming in and makes a nice, going low, taking the legs out there.
Official still talking about it.
Hey, hold on. Hold it. Offense.
So it goes from bad to worse for Laney.
It's anybody's ball game here. Late in the third, Laney down, but they have the football.
1st and 20.
Yeah,
from their 21.
Penalties have just eaten them up tonight. They're approaching 100 yards in penalties.
And a flag flies again.
And it's against Laney again.
Well, this will drive Ronnie Baker nuts.
Like I said, they're getting close to that 100-yard mark. They don't. I mean, they only had 134 yards of offense in the first half. They're almost approaching that in what they have in penalties tonight.
First down.
And it's not just frustrating for the coaches. It's frustrating for the players. I mean, you're back there trying to take the snap and run, or you're one of the linemen who is ready to go, and these penalties they get at you, and it's tough to overcome that.
1st and 25. So the Wildcats will just try to bite off some chunks here and try to get to 3rd and manageable.
And I believe that was a different ball carrier that time. That was Kemp. We saw him run late in the first half.
Looks like we have a player down on the field.
And for the first time tonight, we have somebody shaken up. That's number 25 for Laney, Demarion Johnson, who's had a pretty good game on defense. Let's hope that's just a heat-related, maybe a cramp or something.
Yeah, hopefully so. Hopefully that's the case. I talked to the coaches I had on the radio show last night, all three. I did ask them, how tough is it not being able to practice outside all the time, not being able to be physical all the time? You're having to go inside. You're having to gauge the weather. And you got to keep these guys hydrated. And Harlem in particular, Coach Mark Border gave his staff a ton of credit, about how they hydrate and the game plan they have to keep these players hydrated. It's become such a big part of things, especially here in the South where it's so hot right now and is every year during this time of the year for football.
I know today Grovetown's coach said their coaches make them drink in front of them.
Yeah.
When I was here yesterday visiting with Coach Baker, they didn't start practice here until after 6 o'clock almost.
Yeah, a lot of coaches are doing that. And then some, Evans, Barrett Davis, they've been having 5 a.m. practices, trying to beat the weather. A lot of the coaches would rather practice late because that's sort of the time you're going to play your games. But everybody's doing everything they can to beat the heat.
I think that's when I would transfer to the golf team. So Johnson is, with a little bit of help, made his way to this near sideline. And again, Laney facing second and a whole bunch. Daggett gives directions, throws. He's got his man. It is complete.
That's Kemp.
Jaquavius Kemp into Hephzibah territory, picks up the first down and then some at the 34-yard line.
Yeah, biggest play of the night, biggest gainer of the night for Laney. And a good job by Daggett stepping up on the run and throwing it a little bit underthrown, but still right where the receiver could make a play.
47 yards.
47 yards from Daggett to Kemp, and the Wildcats are in business at the 34, 1st and 10.
Yeah,
down 5.
That changes a little momentum in this game. Everything seemed to be going Hephzibah's way.
Oh, boy.
And here we go, another penalty.
One massive step forward.
First down.
And this can't,
step back.
There's a point where this can't just be coaches that handle this. You've got to have leaders on the field that step up in this spot. And, and that's what the coaches are looking for, whether that's Chance Bush or, Daggett or whoever that is. But you got to cut down on these penalties.
Speaking of Daggett, he'll get the first down call and dropped at the 35-yard line near the original line of scrimmage. What are we looking like penalty yardage-wise for Laney?
Actually, that one was on Hephzibah, it looked like, right? Yeah. My fault. I thought it was a false start on Laney, but that was marked off on Hephzibah. So it was on Laney?
It was
on
Laney, yeah.
It was 1st and 15.
Gotcha.
And Daggett, holding his left thigh, comes to the sideline.
Now Holmes back in there, along with Myrick.
Holmes tried to leapfrog the defender and forced out of bounds. Maurice Boyd wasn't having it.
Well, they flipped the field a little bit, but they still would love to keep this drive alive here.
Yeah, it's 3rd and 11. They need to get just inside the 25-yard line, right to the 24.
And you got 2 plays to do it based on where you are on the field. You don't necessarily have to get it just all of it here. It does look like they're more of a pass set up here with Daggett.
And the Wildcats didn't like what they saw. Ronnie Baker calls timeout. It's the first timeout for the Wildcats here in the second half. So let's take a look at what's coming up on Jenny this Tuesday.
I'm Jenny Montgomery. Join me next time for a preview of the 21st Southern Soul and Song Concert Series, plus a chat about career paths, gardening, and gratitude with Augusta's Jeff Pulliam. Tuesday at 12:30 on Jenny.
Oh, you mentioned Laney getting close to that 100-yard mark in penalties. Now 14 penalties for 94 yards.
Yeah, I mean, that's something to overcome. And obviously, if they can somehow, claw a victory out here, you can work on that moving forward. But if you drop this football game, that is exactly what you're going to be looking at, that you gave up basically an entire football field in penalties before you got to the 4th quarter.
This was a 9-point Laney win a year ago. It is a 5-point Hephzibah lead with 1 minute to play in the 3rd quarter. And it looks like we're going to give a little extra time here for the Heat.
Get them hydrated. And for those that are just tuning in with us, this game was like all the games here in Richmond County were postponed by 30 minutes so they could try to get a little cooler temperatures. I don't know that necessarily worked. It was cooler than it was 30 minutes prior, though.
Some games in Aiken County as well, which is going to make life a little bit more difficult for our fellas back at Television Park getting ready for football Friday night. 11:35 They start at 11:35 on Football Friday night,
Yeah.
regardless of how long the games are delayed.
Yeah.
We've had years where we've had games delayed. We've had lightning delays, and just the weather can really, especially early in the season like this, can really wreak havoc with the schedule. But they'll have 30 minutes of high school football highlights coming up for you. 11:35. Brendan Robertson, Graham Lee, and the whole cast of thousands on Football Friday night.
There's something
WJBF
electric
News
about
Channel
being in
6.
that studio when everybody's trying to gather scores and everybody's running around being crazy, and you got some scores you're waiting on, and yeah, pushing it back just a little bit matters to those guys for sure. They do a great job, and I was able to get home and watch. I missed the very first part of it last week, but was able to get home and watch most of Football Friday night with Brendan and Graham Lee helping him out.
So Laney needs 11 yards, 2 plays to do it.
Daggett's still looking at the sidelines.
Good news that he's back in the game after he came out holding his left leg. Daggett gets the direct snap, and it'll leave about 4th and forward progress, 4th and 7. So big play now coming up for Laney. And we'll go ahead and say it's a Ken Nugent one call, that's all moment. Obviously, they're going for it.
Yeah.
But what do you do to pick up a long 7 yards here?
I don't think you can take a chance running. I think you have to throw it. And I think, Daggett and try to get one of your receivers downfield open. I mean, Holmes is your best target, but tonight he's been quiet as far as the receiving end.
4 wideouts for the Wildcats, 3 to the near side. It will be Daggett to throw. He will complete, and he will have the first down at the 21-yard line. Nice sliding catch by Holmes.
Well, that was a well-designed play. And again, Holmes did something that we see college and pro receivers not do. Make sure you're past the first down marker. How many times do you see a guy catch
drives me
short?
nuts.
Yeah. So nice play, well executed. Holmes coming back to the football and making a play.
Unless it's Varsity Blues and you're going to run the hook and ladder. All right, folks, it is anybody's game. 12 minutes left to play. Hephzibah 13, Laney 8. One quarter left to decide the Richmond County rivalry between Laney and Hephzibah. Wildcats 1st and 10 from the 22-yard line.
Yeah, just a monster pickup on 4th down with that pass from Daggett to Holmes.
And Holmes will get the carry this time. Bounces off the first man inside the 20 to the 15. And the Wildcats are into the Murphy Auto Group red zone.
And Telly Johnson finally got him out of bounds with a hit. These two Warriors going at it, 2 of the best players in the area, and I think he's a little banged up, maybe a little Charlie horse. Watch the end of the play. Right as he goes out of bounds, Telly Johnson came flying in there to make the stop. Right about there. And you see limping as he came off. I think those two are going to be, when we start talking about, all area and things like that, Border Bowl, these are going to be a couple of players we certainly are going to have to discuss. They have lived up to the hype tonight, both of them.
And for tonight, they're both in the running for the McDonald's Offensive and Defensive Player of the Game that will award at the conclusion of tonight's contest. He picked up 7 on 1st down, so 2nd and 3 from the Hephzibah 14-yard line. Now it's Daggett. Hesitation. Still on his feet. And finally dragged down.
Well, he beat his blocker to the hole. He had a blocker going through. I don't know if it was a pulling guard or a back, but he beat the blocker to the hole, and the linebacker was there.
Lamar Daniels on the stop, and Lamar, number 19, came up a little slowly, but looks like he's going to hang in there. So no gain on the play officially. 3rd and 3.
Big possession here. I mean, there's
a couple of huge downs here.
Yeah.
Holmes, no room. Daniel's involved again.
And I think that was 23 Brown.
Trayon Brown.
Yeah. And I don't know if
he didn't get anything.
I don't know if he's 100% there. Nowhere to go. They lined it up. It was obvious they were going to the left. They weren't trying to hide it, and Hephzibah was ready for it. So
here you go. Yeah.
Big play.
I mean, there's 10:49 left to play in the game, but
this is a big play, though. Yeah, you don't get a lot of opportunities to score. You got to take advantage of them.
Daggett will get the snap.
Look how much space they're giving Holmes on the outside. I mean, they are giving him now. The defensive back is coming up a little closer, but.
And Hephzibah saw what you saw, AB, and Daniel Dorsey will call timeout. Gives us a chance to get our QBs by the quarter. Brought to you by Culpeper Lumber Ace Hardware.
Yes, so for Hephzibah through 3 quarters, Gant hasn't been able to complete a pass yet. He's 0 for 4, had the interception there in the 3rd quarter. Definitely has been able to add 17 yards on the ground running the football, though. Then on the Laney side, Holmes has ran the ball for 74 yards and a touchdown. Daggett is 3 of 6 passing for 66 yards and has added 57 yards on the ground himself.
Daggett completing a big 4th down pass to Holmes. He also had the big 46-yard pass play earlier in the game as well to Kemp.
But right now, they need 4 yards.
Yeah.
To keep this drive alive.
I know one thing. If the defensive back's going to stay 10 yards away from my best player, I am going to throw him the football and let him go one-on-one in the open field and see what he can do. We'll see if that's the case here.
And here we go. Wildcat fans, let's pump up this offense.
Just surprised how far they were playing off of him. Now they are up tight. Now that spread instead of 10 yards is about 2.
Daggett. He's looking where you were looking, AB. Directing traffic. Now they have to take matters into his own hands, and it's going to be real close.
I'm just thinking that spot, you got to throw it and let your receiver make a play. It's 4th down anyway. Yeah,
I think he got it.
Did he get it?
I think he barely stepped inside the yard marker. Let's see. Ooh.
That's going to be really close.
They have flipped it to 1st down,
wow,
which would be 1st and goal at the 14-yard line.
Nathan is far better at those calls than me. I didn't think he had it, but like I said, Nathan is the guy usually on those calls, not me.
Now they're reversing it and saying he did not quite get there. So they flipped it to 1st down
maybe
for
I am
Hephzibah.
The guy to make those calls.
Maybe you are. Well, when he ran out of bounds, when we were showing the replay, they were initially moving the chains inside the 20-yard line.
And it looked like he stepped across at first, but then when on the second view, it's like he was really out of bounds before that, or hovering over out of bounds before that.
So what a defensive stand by the skin of their teeth for Hephzibah. And now the Rebels will try to milk some clock with 10:20 to play, and now less than that in this ball game.
It looks like they had it. Oh, they lost the football.
This would give Laney the football back inside the Murphy Auto Group red zone, and they have it. Zion Thibodeau.
I was just about to say they had a different ball carrier in there than we've seen tonight. At least I thought it was a new one. And at the end of the play, in the scrum, the ball came out. And Laney, what a man.
You talk about a turn of events in 30 seconds?
It wasn't, it was number 8. It wasn't Johnson, and it wasn't the normal quarterback Gant. It was number 8, Alford, who did have a couple of carries in the first half.
Yeah, Alford actually had more carries than anybody else for the Rebels a week ago, even though Johnson stole the show with his 4 touchdowns. Laney's got a player shaken up.
But you think about it, we talked about Laney's penalties hurting them. Well, now that's 2 turnovers for Hephzibah. You had the interception by Myrick, and now this turnover, and this one's costly because your defense just made a great stand, and now you give Laney the ball back and, knocking on the door.
Jaden Shaw is the player shaken up for Laney. It was Zion Thibodeau, a sophomore lineman, who came out of the pile with the football for Laney. Couldn't see who busted it loose.
Shaw's been really good tonight.
He has.
Stuff from that hole.
And that would be a big loss for the Wildcats if he's not able to continue.
Well, he was at the bottom of that pile. He might have had a hand in getting that football out, but he is very slow to get off the field here.
Favoring the left ankle.
All right, fans, y'all let them hear it. Our Wildcat fan is back on it. Our Wildcat player is back on his feet. That's Jaden Shaw coming back to the sideline.
Now Hephzibah's defense being put in a precarious situation here by the offense. They've got to somehow try to make another stand as they did earlier.
So after wasting that trip into the Murphy Auto Group red zone, the Wildcats will get another crack at it.
You can't, especially on the road, you can't give teams that second chance. And they are giving Laney a second chance here.
Wildcats are back in control of the ball. It is first down, Wildcats.
And Holmes is out of there. And he's walking a little gingerly. I don't know if it was a hip or what happened, but he got hit in that right leg, and he's been limping around on it. Pride is in there for the direct snap.
And it is Pride inside the 5. Tumbles down to the 3.
Yeah,
close to another first down. It'll be second and less than 1.
Deontay Singleton upended him, or that would have been a touchdown. That's one of the biggest holes we've seen open for Laney ball carriers tonight.
Pride gets the call again. And this time the Rebels are ready. He's still on his feet. He's still pushing.
One of his teammates drug him into the end zone. I want to say, it was number 35 for Laney. Now, a flag is down. I don't see a number 30. Is it 35 or 20? It was 25. That is Demarion Johnson, a senior fullback, and he's dragging his ball carrier into the end zone.
So this is interesting. I don't know what the rule is in high school. You can push a guy, but you can't pull
You can't
a
pull
guy.
him, yeah. Which I don't really know what the difference is, but okay. Well, it used to be you couldn't assist them, remember? That used to be a penalty, the old Southern Cal Notre Dame game, remember?
So it looks like the score will not stand.
Johnson saying, what did I do wrong, man? I just helped my buddy out. Looked like he needed some help.
And it backs the Wildcats up to the 8. Second and goal from there.
And now the speedster back in there, Holmes.
It'll be Holmes with blocking. And it'll be stood up at the 3.
Wow, 2 big plays coming up here.
Clock now less than 10 minutes.
They can get a first down. What are they, about a yard shy?
Need to get to the 4.
Yeah, so they've got 2 downs to get a yard for the first down, but of course they're right there knocking on the door for a score as well. And more timeouts than normal tonight with obviously TV, but also more so because of the weather and the heat, trying to keep these guys hydrated.
Hephzibah has a man shaken up. Can't see a number. We'll check on that and step aside. Deontay Singleton, a junior defensive back, was the player shaken up for Hephzibah. He was able to walk gingerly to the sideline under his own power. So big third down, third and a yard for the first down. And another flag. This one, I believe, is going to be against the Rebels.
That's going to be a first down.
And that'll give the Wildcats a huge first down.
First and goal at the 2. Half the distance to the goal, so. Actually, first and goal at the 2.
That is first down, Wildcats.
So the defense didn't give itself a chance.
And Holmes still in there.
On first and goal from the 2, Holmes straight ahead and hit and dragged back by Brian Bailey, a senior lineman.
Yeah, Bailey is a talent, big kid, 325 pounds. And watch him beat the block. And once he grabbed Holmes wasn't going anywhere. Bailey's a kid that will probably be playing on Saturdays next year as well.
Second and goal from the 2. Can Hephzibah bow its neck, or will the Wildcats take the lead? It is Holmes, this time to the outside. Holmes for 6.
Well, again, Hephzibah, you can't give teams second and third chances. They gave him a second chance with the fumble. They gave him another chance by giving up the first down on the penalty. And Laney takes advantage and takes the lead. Now, this is going to be interesting because if they get the 2, it's a 3-point game. If they miss it, though, a field goal could be the difference. Now, these teams aren't necessarily known for great kicking, but Hephzibah's kicker did boot through the first extra point pretty cleanly.
Second score of the night for Holmes. Also had the 2-point conversion. And a good point, AB. Neither one of these teams attempted a field goal last week.
So let's see what they draw up here. Holmes and Johnson, we told you they were good. They both got 2 touchdowns.
High snap to Holmes, trying to find some room on the right side. He's in. 16-13, Laney grabs the lead.
Yeah, good block in that time by the Wildcats front. And it seems like they've tried to kind of wear down Hephzibah a little bit. And you see Holmes kind of limping, but he was in there to get the touchdown and the 2-point conversion.
But back and forth we go.
Yeah.
Like 2 heavyweight fighters. And we still got 8 minutes and 27 seconds left.
Now let's see if Hephzibah can answer.
Well, I tell you, we had an instant classic last Friday night with Burke County and Thompson. This one's shaping up to be a furious finish as well.
Yeah, kind of that same feel to it.
It does.
Could come down to the final play.
No matter what happens, don't forget, you can watch the encore presentation at 12:30 on Sunday afternoon over on WJBF News Channel 6. But plenty of football left and a big, big return for Hephzibah. The Rebels are going to have great field position as Justin Whitfield, across midfield, and the Rebels will have it first and 10 at the Laney 49.
Well, he caught it at the 30 or 31 on a line drive. You're just giving away yardage there when you do that. Whitfield able to pick up about 20 on the return. Hephzibah in business here.
Well, this is going to be fun to watch over the next 8 minutes and 20 seconds.
Gann is not in there. That quarterback, that is number 8, Alford, with the direct snap.
No gain, 2nd and 10.
Good to see him going back and having confidence to go back to Alford, who fumbled on that last possession. And here comes Telly Johnson. He said, all right, you did okay, but give me the football. Let me take over here. And now Gant comes back in as well. Telly Johnson with a highlight reel touchdown earlier in this half to give his team the lead.
68 yards. But Laney has since come back and reclaimed it. It will be Johnson, and again, no gain.
And look who made the play again, Shaw. He has been outstanding tonight. Jaden Shaw, he came out of the game earlier, was banged up, but comes right back in and makes a heck of a play.
So the Rebels have gone backwards a couple of yards here. It'll be 3rd and 11, line to make it the 39-yard line of Laney. Gant back in at QB. Laney coming after him. Gant has to get rid of it. Does. Near side. Incomplete. 4th down, right near midfield. And what will Daniel Dorsey do here?
Yeah, I mean, you haven't been able to throw the football tonight at all. But obviously you're going to have to come up with a play here.
Yeah, Ken Nugent, one call, that's all moment.
It looks like that's a, gosh, can you really punt it away though?
With 6 minutes and 53 seconds left to play.
The Laney defense has really been really good tonight. They gave up the 57 yards on the opening drive, and they gave up that 68-yard touchdown. But outside of that, it's been 12 yards the whole rest of the game.
Hephzibah will take a timeout to talk about it. Give us time to check in on our BrandsMart USA trivia question, AB. You've had some time to think about it. Again.
Well, I have. And
Ronnie Baker, we'll just let the folks who might just be tuning in. Ronnie Baker's led the Wildcats into the playoffs his first 2 seasons. He's now in his 3rd. Who was the last Laney head coach to make the playoffs in each of his first 2 seasons?
Well, last week I said I think it's not 8. I think it's 9 or 10. I went with 9. It was 10. I'm torn on this between 2. I think it's a recent guy after Eric Parker, which is not that long ago. Would you be tricky and do that? Or do we go back? I think it's either David Dupree from way back or Rodney McFadden from right after the guy who took over for Eric Parker. I can't remember if he made the playoffs once or twice.
You know the tricky thing about this game?
Yeah.
You have to pick one.
I know it. I'm actually going to go. I think you're being sneaky. I'm going to go with Rodney McFadden and not David Dupree.
And the answer is?
Yes, sir.
He's over 500 again.
Yes, sir.
2-1.
And so Rodney McFadden is newsworthy this week because he was serving as the interim head coach at Richmond Academy for their first game last week, and led Laney the playoffs in 15 and 16, region championship in 2015. So those were his first 2 seasons. And again, he was filling in at Richmond Academy. And this week they named their full-time head coach, a familiar name in these parts, Keenan Grissett, former Cross Creek star.
Yep, for sure.
Taking over as the head coach at ARC, and there he's making his debut just a couple miles up the street tonight against Savannah. So we wish him well.
John trying to be tricky there.
You weren't buying it, though. So Hephzibah does elect to punt, and a very dangerous handling of the return. But Laney will have it, so Hephzibah flips the field, but the Wildcats take over. 1st and 10 at their own 12-yard line.
Yeah, now the defense just has to step up and make a play and make a stop, get the football back. You flip the field, like you said. If you can stop Laney from getting a first down here and force them to punt from there, you're going to have great field position. Heck, you might even be able to come after the punt. So this first series here is the important one. I mean, if you know, once they start moving up the field, things change. I think you got to try and get a stop right here.
This is gonna probably be a lot of what we saw in the opening drive, just QB power run until they stop it.
Yeah, and that's exactly what is going on. Johnson is back there to block for Holmes.
Another wild finish here on Game Night Live. Holmes, big pickup on first down. There is a flag down, and that's likely to come back.
Well, that was the nemesis for Laney in the first half and really the entire game, and that is going to put them, I think they were at, what, 94 yards? That'll put them at least 99.
Half the distance.
It's half the distance, so it's actually going to put them over on.
I'm sure Ronnie Baker will have that exact number for the players on Monday.
I have a feeling.
Holding. Offense, still first down.
So 1st and 15 from the 8.
It's just a matter now of which kids step up. Is it going to be the kids in red or the kids in white? Because both of them have a chance to win this football game, both teams for sure.
Daggett back in, switches direction. Big gain, huge first down. Across the 30, all the way up to the 35.
Well,
that's a huge play for Laney.
Well, a mistake made there on the defensive side by number 21 for Hephzibah. That is Maurice Boyd. Just took a bad angle and watch right here. As he cut back, you'll see 21 right there. Took a bad angle and allowed their quarterback Daggett to get to the outside. And then after the play here, I don't think he realized he was out of bounds. That could have easily been a penalty, and it was not.
Laney has a player shaken up.
That's a big play for Laney, though, to at least get them out from, back near their own end zone.
Yeah, 26 yards on the gain for Daggett.
Daggett's quietly had a solid game as well. I mean, he's threw the big long pass that kind of turned the momentum in the game. He's run the ball pretty well.
83 yards on the ground now for Daggett. And
yeah.
Laney's over 200 as a team.
We've got work cut out for us to pick a McDonald's offensive and defensive player of the game tonight.
Yeah, for sure.
So while they attend to him, we will step aside and see what's coming up on the Means Report on Monday.
The parents need to have more information about what goes on in their children's schools. Also, when will we get inflation in check? And when will more people go back to work? Congressman Rick Allen on the Means Report.
Different regions, yeah. Yes, they're in different regions, so they would have to have agreed or whatever. Yeah.
So we're ready to go again. Never did get a number on the player who was shaken up, but he was able to come off under his own power. So after the big first down run from Daggett, 1st and 10 from the 34-yard line, 33. And a fresh set of legs with Holmes straight ahead.
Yeah, Laney happy to just let this clock run and pick up 4 or 5 yards a run. They would love that.
Both teams still have 2 timeouts remaining. And the clock down under 6 minutes now. 2nd and 5.
And again, here's where somebody just has to take it upon themselves to fight off a block, make a play, strip a football, do something.
Holmes just eclipsed the 100-yard mark.
Yeah, over 100 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns, 2 extra points, and he also has caught a couple of passes.
And he'll get some more here. And he'll have the first down across midfield into Hephzibah territory, out of bounds at the 50.
The only thing the Laney coaches, and I know he's banged up, so there's a flag down. That might come back. But the Laney coaches, I'm sure, would have rather him just falling down right there in bounds. But
yeah,
it's going to be limping.
That's going to be for naught, as another penalty will back the Wildcats up.
Offense, number 7, still 2nd down.
That's 17 for 111 yards.
And you still have a 3-point lead with 5 minutes change left to play. So 2nd and 14, need to get to the 43. And Daggett will get the call after the big first down run. And this one's considerably shorter. He'll get past the original line of scrimmage. The 3rd and 7. And now a couple of big plays coming up for the Hephzibah defense.
Yeah, talk about picking McDonald's player of the game, where it could be, that we've had some good performances. And who is on that Hephzibah defense if they were to pull this thing out? Trying to pick out a player, because they've had a couple of guys that have played well on the defensive side of the ball. Telly Johnson's been good on both sides.
And more flags fly in. This one from the offensive backfield.
Yep.
Well, they pointed one way and they're walking the other way.
Penalty on the field, but guess what? It's moving the Wildcats forward. Penalties on the Rebels.
Whatever it is, it's against Hephzibah.
First down.
And it's going to be a big first down for Laney across midfield. They'll have it 1st and 10 at the 49 of the Rebels.
That was an unsportsmanlike penalty on Hephzibah.
And all of a sudden, there's not a whole lot of time left.
Yeah, again, Laney's just been letting this thing run. Obviously that's what they want to do. And if you're Hephzibah, you just got to stop them. There's no way to sugarcoat it. You've got to make plays up front to not allow those ball carriers room to run. And who knows, maybe get your hand in there and grab the football.
Pick up of 3 more.
that's the spot to do it. When you've got your the runner held up like that, somebody's got to come in there and try and get that football.
There was a Danny Daggett that played for
Josie.
Josie.
Yeah, there've been a bunch of Daggets over the years, both at Laney and Josie.
It's one of those names.
Yeah.
We've talked about that multiple times. Different schools have these certain names that keep showing up, and Daggett's had a big game tonight. Under 3 now. Holmes trying to pick and carve his way through there to the 43.
That's going to set up 3rd down and short. 3rd and about 4.
And now it looks like Hephzibah will call its 2nd timeout. So the Rebels stop the clock with 2 minutes and 34 seconds left to play.
Man, these kids, I saw something I read today on Twitter talking about when you hear people, especially people that aren't involved in sports, saying that kids are given a scholarship and given an education and all that. And he said, man, that person's never been around what it's like to be an athlete and the time you have to put in. These guys have been working all summer. They've been in the weight room. They've been working in the heat. Now they're out here on the field. They're worn out. They're going battling against one of their rivals in county. Yeah, it's just something special about deciding to put that effort into being a football player. It really at any level, but once you get to the high school or college level, it is a major, major commitment of time and work, and I respect anybody that does it.
Yeah, we were here again for our visit with the coach yesterday, and while we were interviewing him outside of the football complex, you could hear the weights inside the football complex, and that's before they went out in 100-degree heat. Well, I had to wait till it wasn't 100, but you know what I mean, practice.
And while the players are out there, the coaches are out there. The dedication that they have is remarkable as well.
2:34 left in this one, 3rd and 3. Laney with 2 plays to try to soft this thing away. But only up 3. It's Holmes. Holmes will have the 1st down.
That is a huge play.
Doesn't quite salt it away just yet. 2:28 to play. Hephzibah does have 1 timeout left. And
once they get the chain set, though, this clock's going to start. It doesn't salt it away, but unless you get a crazy turnover here, even if you get a stop, you're going to have almost no time to do anything.
So the players are going to the sideline now. There has been some sort of disturbance in the stands. A lot of these, okay, there you go. A lot of the students have run to that end of the field, and there's a gate down there that exits toward the baseball stadium. There was a lot of people running that way. Now everybody's sort of milling about. The players are still on the field. So we don't want to speculate as to what might have happened to cause everybody to run down there.
Let's make sure we calm down.
The PA announcer here imploring the fans to keep calm.
Well, this has been a great football game.
Well, and you would hate for anything like this tomorrow. It's been a great game.
By two teams getting after it on both sides of the ball for sure.
Yeah, and it looks like we're going to get back to action here. Laney with that big 1st down, 1st and 10 from the 39-yard line of Hephzibah. And another 1st down would pretty much end this thing.
Yeah, like I said, unless Hephzibah is able to strip the football or something, even if they don't get a 1st down, there's just not going to be a lot of time on the clock to really do anything after they're able to run 3 plays here. Now that is the play I'm talking
absolutely
about.
Blown up by Telly Johnson.
Wow. Telly Johnson has got 2, you could argue, plays of the night, maybe plays of the year. Wow.
This would be a good time to remind you they have the Georgia Health Department hit of the game coming up as well.
If Hephzibah were to come back and win this game, he might take all the hard work.
Well, has a player ever won play of the game and hit of the game?
Not to my recollection.
I'll still say this, though. The hit of the year, the very first year, is still the hit all-time on Game Night Live. It was Jabari Nelson from Evans against Richmond on a screen pass. Still the best hit in Game Night Live history. It was the very first year we broadcast.
Stands the test of time.
Yep.
Laney just letting the clock tick down to the minute mark. Daggett will keep it on the ground. Set up 3rd and 4. Again, Telly in there again. Again, Hephzibah can only stop the clock one more time.
And if you Telly now, you're just hoping you can somehow knock the football loose.
And Daniel Dorsey will use his final timeout with 46 seconds to play. We'll step aside with them. 46 seconds left on week 2 of Game Night Live. Don't forget, coming up after the game, the McDonald's offensive and defensive players of the game, the Powerade play of the game, and the Georgia Health Department hit of the game. But still yet to be decided is who's going to win. Laney clinging to a 16-13 win, facing 3rd and 4. Hephzibah cannot stop the clock again. First down and it's over, and Laney is just not going to take any chances. Daggett will take the knee and let the clock tick down inside. You can let it tick down all the way to inside 10 seconds.
Well, Laney's going to get out of here, it looks like, with a victory, but
well, I mean, if you're Hephzibah now with them doing that, you just sell out here for a block punt, you got a chance.
So you're saying there's a chance?
I don't think you punt it, though. I think you maybe catch it and just run around with it. I don't think you punt it. I think you just run it like a regular play. I don't think you punt it at all.
Yeah, they really just need to run around for 4 seconds.
Yeah.
They take the delay.
I literally would just run a regular play. I would not snap it deep. That you're taking a big chance with a snap. I would just run your regular offense.
Throw it up out of bounds somewhere. Just roll right and throw it out of bounds.
Yeah, I would run my regular offense. Again, Laney is going to likely squeak one out here, but they are certainly going to be focused on the miscues with the penalties as they move forward. And for Hephzibah, they played a tough game tonight, but just a couple of turnovers in the second half and not able to finish drives and not able to get Laney off the field a couple of times when they needed to.
Ronnie Baker will take his second timeout, make sure all the T's are crossed and I's are dotted here so they don't miss anything. That gives us a chance to thank our crew, and I'm talking. We thank the crew every week.
Yeah, this week.
Today was unlike anything. Heat indices up north of 100 degrees, and they were out here all day setting up. Our director, Kyle Thomas, replay coordinator, Ben Price, on graphics, Josh Recor, audio, Jeff Singleton. On the cameras, as usual, Katron Huge, Kat Kangry, and Danya Alawir. Camera 4, Gary Nipple down on the sidelines with Kira. Our sideline coordinator tonight, Sandy Rowland. A red cap was Kevin Chang, working the live truck and filling in, and like Lou Gehrig taking over for Wally Pipp was Philip Scott tonight. Back in master control at Television Park, Jarrett Ledger. Our production manager, Lauren Fitzgerald, and our production timer in the truck tonight, Helen Johnson. A huge, huge thank you to our crew tonight. 4.1 seconds for Laney to run around and try to salt this thing away. Holmes will fire it up as the time expires, and that's that. Laney, a winner over Hephzibah, 16-13.
Well, again, Laney's going to get a win, and they're going to be happy with it, their first win of the year. But, again, a lot to work on with the penalties, the miscues. But, again, happy to get out of here with a victory. And for Hephzibah, just small tweaks. If they got Laney off the field a couple of times, they don't turn it over. You figure those two turnovers in the second half were big. One of them gave Laney the football inside the 10. So you've just got to stop with those miscues, and maybe this game would have turned out different.
So 16-13 the final, but we're just getting started, folks. Stay tuned for the post-game show. We will hear from the victorious coach of the Laney Wildcats, our McDonald's offensive defensive players of the game, the Powerade play of the game, and the Georgia Health Department hit of the game, all coming your way on the post-game show. Laney a winner, 16-13 over Hephzibah.
Coach Baker, you got the win tonight. Can you tell me what you're pleased with?
I'm pleased that the kids didn't quit. You know, we hard-fought battle with the conditions today. The heat played a major part in the game, and Hephzibah came out and played a real good game, and they made us fight for every yard and fight for everything that we got tonight.
Penalties was a big part of this game. Can you talk to me about how you're going to address that with the team going into next week?
That's the biggest thing that we have to fight every week is our mental mistakes, and our saying is Laney can't beat Laney, and the only team that can beat Laney tonight was Laney, and we made a lot of mistakes that cost us to have to fight a little harder.
Talk to me about C.J. Holmes, 177 all-purpose yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 two-point conversions. Talk to me about it.
That's what he's supposed to do. That's what we pay him to do. So, he our bell cow. We're going to give him the ball, and we're going to ask him to do a lot of different things, and he's been doing a great job of it lately.
That's Boulevard Bill. Thank you so much, Coach. Appreciate it. Back up to you guys.
Thank you, Kira. Thank you, Coach. Congratulations. I love that. That's what he's supposed to do.
That's how he did his job.
They'll get set up for the offensive and defensive players of the game. Give us a chance to give you our Powerade play of the game.
Now, a couple to choose from, for sure. And it's going to be in a losing effort, but watch this. He runs over one of his own players. Looks like there's 3 or 4 or 5 guys that could have gotten him, but Telly Johnson takes it to the house.
And again, Deontay Singleton getting back up.
And block.
And the block.
For sure.
Love
Absolutely.
it. Stayed after it. All right, that gives us our Georgia Health Department hit of the game for week 2.
This is a tougher call. We had some hits, too. Let's see which one we went with here. It's Telly.
Listen, Telly Johnson didn't get the win tonight. He's not going to get the offensive and defensive player of the game, but he got the hit of the game. He got the play of the game. But let's get our QBs by the quarter for the fourth quarter. Brought to you as always by Culpeper Ace Hardware.
Yeah, for Hephzibah on the night, Gant had some struggles, was unable to complete a pass, did have the 1 interception. He definitely was able to get 17 rushing yards, though, added a little bit on the ground there. For Laney, they definitely had kind of the two-headed monster at quarterback. Holmes had 109 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns. And then Daggett definitely added 66 yards through the air and 80 yards on the ground on his own.
So, again, Telly Johnson taking home all the hardware in the postgame shows so far, but Laney gets the win. And for our offensive and defensive players of the game, back down to Kira.
Yeah, for our offensive player of the game, we're going to start with C.J. Holmes. C.J., I know that Coach said that that's what you were supposed to do, but it's still very impressive. 177 all-purpose yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 two-point conversions. Can you talk to me a little bit about the offensive performance tonight?
Our line, they came out tonight, and they did what they had to do in order for me to get what I had to get. So I say shout out to my O-line.
Awesome. Thank you so much. That award right there is yours. You can take it from my friend Dallas. And then we will move on over to Jaden Shaw. And Jaden, you are our... Oh, I'm so sorry. We are actually missing Jaden Shaw. We're going to find him, and we'll come right back. Guys, back up to you.
That might be a first in Game Night Live history. So we'll work on that. So Laney works into a bye week now. So they've got a couple of weeks to get healthy and enjoy this victory. And it'll be Hephzibah going on the road to Augusta Christian last year, where the Rebels won 20-0, or the next week I should say, where the Rebels won 20-0 last week. So both of these teams have another week to get prepared. And like I said, Laney, no better way to go to the bye week than with a victory. And Wildcats, a winner, 16-13 here tonight.
Yeah, great performance to get the win, some things to work on, but again, you got your first victory against a pretty good Hephzibah team. This is no slouch.
Final thoughts on this one, AB?
Well, I just think these are 2 teams that went to the playoffs last year. I see no reason why they're not going to be in the mix for that again. They've got to clean some things up. They've got to have some guys step up because they both lost a lot of guys to graduation, as a lot of teams in the area did this year, but they both have, as the coach called it, their bell cow. It's Holmes for Laney. It's Telly Johnson for Hephzibah.
All right, Football Friday night coming up at 11:35 over on WJBF News Channel 6. We'll have a recap of this one and all the highlights for everything going on around the area. Scores, 30 minutes worth with Brendan Robertson and Graham Lee coming to you from Television Park. 11:35 over on WJBF. And Laney fans, you will want to relive this Richmond County rivalry win over Hephzibah. The encore presentation of Game Night Live coming your way Sunday at 12:30 over on WJBF. Next week, we will be in Columbia County for a border battle. North Augusta crossing over into Columbia County to take on Lakeside. That's where we'll be a week from now.
And by the way, can I say one thing? It's my apologies. It was my fault on the player. I texted her number 4, but the correct name, and I think we got him down there now. He's coming out, but that was completely my fault, not Kira's fault. I texted her the wrong number.
I was going to blame you anyway.
It was it was definitely on me. I don't know what I did, but I texted the wrong number.
And we do have Jaden Shaw down there. Better late than never. He's always worth the wait, Kira.
Yeah, we do. Thanks, guys. You know, we're powering through down here. But talk to me about powering through, right? We got double-digit tackles. Talk to me about the defensive performance tonight.
I still got to do better. You know, it wasn't. We still got things to work on, but hey, we made it. We won.
Thank you so much for running out here. That plaque right there is yours. You can take it from my friend Dallas. Congratulations to both of you guys. Guys, we will finally now send it back up to you.
All right, Kira, thank you. Again, thank you to our crew for setting up all day. For Kira, for our crew, for Nathan Edwards up here in the booth, and my partner, AB. We appreciate you all. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you a week from tonight from Lakeside. Until then, good night from Laney.